It's a Crime and Shame with Sunny Justice. Hey everyone, it's Sunny Justice. How are you guys? And welcome. Hi Polly. Hi Dab. Hi Outback. Okay, we're just gonna let some more people join us. Hi Sharon. How's everyone doing tonight? Yeah. Thank you for coming by. I know this was an unexpected live. Well, you know me. I do them whenever I want to, however I feel like it. But anyways, tonight, as you guys have seen, Mikey Hittle will be joining us tonight. And if anyone knows the story of, good evening, Mama. So if anyone knows the story, of course, of Nicole Bowen, Ray Hanish, and the Delphi murders, you know all along how I've talked about them and the possible connection. So yeah, I'm not really going to tell Mikey's story. I'm going to let Mikey tell his story. I'm glad you're feeling better, Outback. Again, hi Donna, thanks for joining us. And yeah, so I'll bring him on in just a moment. We'll let a few more people come arrive. And again, just be respectful. Again, just be respectful or else, you guys get the big toe if you're not. So mods, just make sure, please, for me tonight that everyone's keeping in line. They're not being ignorant or being rude to anyone, etc., etc. I want to say to, Mikey, well, wait for he's on, but I thank him very much for doing this live for me. I really appreciate the fact that he's taken his time to come and join us. And yeah, hi Chihuahua, how are you? Yeah, thank you guys all for being here. I don't know who else is doing lives at the moment. Doesn't really matter. Either way, we just do our thing regardless. And yeah, again, yeah, tonight I'm going to hit the thumbs up. This is always about bringing awareness to the missing and the murdered. That's foremost and important. And yes, thank you, Mikey. We appreciate it. And you can thank him as soon as he comes on. But thank you guys for being here. I know there's 16 at the moment, and I know that number will grow. So again, Mikey Hittle, he will be talking about the day that Nicole Bowen was murdered. Her name actually is Nicole Bowen, but I believe Thomas is her last name as well. I think Bowen was her married name, if I'm not mistaken. No, most people polygraph. I'll show you something in a moment, actually, that we will go over. And I'll just share, whoops, 1 second here. I'll just share the screen for 1 moment in my Chrome tab. Okay, so if you guys can see this on the screen here. Okay, let me just, yeah. So obviously, if you guys can see this on the screen, let me just close this off. Okay, so right here, basically, is this the one? Yeah, okay. So it says Garrett Kurtz, who has been a main suspect in the March 30th, 2019 homicide of Nicole Bowen of West Lafayette. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but whatever. Accepted a plea deal that was approved by the Newton County Superior Court Judge Daniel Moulter on September 4th. Okay. The plea deal calls for Kurtz to plead guilty for murdering Bowen, and the prosecution would not pursue life in prison without parole and recommend a sentence of 55 years. When asked about his guilty plea by Judge Moulter, Kurtz informed the court that he, Ashley Garth, Chris Mathis, that's supposed to say Mikey Hittle, were at the Kentland trailer park but left to go south to get more drugs. Kurt said that it was when he told Bowen that had snitched on him and Jason Palladino for cooking meth. He testified that he, along with Garth and Palladino, decided that Bowen had to die and set it up for her to meet them at the trailer park. You guys can go to this. I will drop the link in the chat if anyone wants to go there. So I will do that. But so let me come back to the chat. I'm going to put that in there and hit paste and put that in there for you guys to go look at. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing screen, and now I'm going to bring on Mikey. And yeah, you guys, like I said, the chat will grow and we'll just start. Okay, so we're going to add Mikey to the screen. So Mikey, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I want to say again how I truly appreciate it. Oh, did you freeze? I think you froze for a sec. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you're cutting out really bad.
Am I cutting out really bad all of a sudden?
Now you're good. Now you're good.
Yeah, I think it was just for a moment. So I was just saying again how much I appreciate the fact that I had messaged you on Messenger today. You answered me back. We talked on Messenger, and then I had asked you if I could use, but not use your name, to what we were talking about with Nicole Bowen. And then I told you I was going to be doing a live tonight, and appreciate the fact that you actually said, yes, I will come on your live because I want to have justice and speak justice for Nicole Bowen and tell your side of the story. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'd just like to see justice for the girls if they had anything to do with it, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, as everyone knows, it's Nicole Bowen, Ray Hanish, and the Delphi girls. And I just, like I said, I feel like there's this connection between Garrett Kurtz, Ashley Garth, Jason Palladino. And it just, everything kind of keeps pointing to these same people. But anyways, I would just like for you to, again, talk freely about Nicole's case and just speak from your heart. Tell us about that day if you could. And then at some point we can look for questions from the live chat. And yeah, that would be great.
Okay, the day I met Garrett, I was in Kentland. I live in Kentland. A friend of mine, Jasmine Parker, lived at the trailer court down the road. She called me in the morning and said that she had someone over there that might need a ride. I had a car, so I went over there. I met Garrett and Ashley. We, you know, I'm gonna say, I was a piece of shit. I was a drug addict. We got high, and he needed a ride to down by Delphi Brookston area. I don't know the area very well. We went down there. He got some drugs. As we're about to leave, we go out back to another residence. I was like 50 yards away, probably another trailer, and met with Talitha. We got high with Talitha, went to leave, and as we're leaving, Nicole was pulling in. Garrett said stop. I stopped, and he talked to her for a minute. Everything was all good. He was going to ride with her, and Talitha was going to ride with me. We headed back this way. I lived in Francisville at that time. Had an apartment there, but I stayed in Kentland most of the time. But we stopped at my apartment. Garrett was supposed to come there. He never showed. So we went on to the trailer. We got to the trailer. Garrett and Nicole were there. When I got there, walked in the trailer. They were sitting beside each other, hugging on each other, all lovey-dovey. Everything was everything. And I left. I come back, and Chris Mathis was there, Jasmine Parker, Talitha, Ashley, and Garrett, but no Nicole. I seen her car was outside. The next day, someone sent me a post on Facebook about having found a body and close to the trailer park there. And I instantly knew it was her because Garrett on the way there was talking about how he was going to kill her for having snitched on him. I thought he was blowing smoke. I don't know the guy. I don't condone putting your hands on a female whatsoever. That's something I don't agree with under any circumstance. So I would have never let that happen, if I'd known it was going to go down like this. I got back to the trailer. Mathis was there, and he was looking all sullen. He was real red faced and just acting weird. And like I said, that next day I got that post, and I called Detective Rowe and told him everything.
Yeah.
Sorry if that's a little fast.
Well,
I've told that story many times.
I was gonna say, we can easily break that down again because I just really wanted you because I knew that you were probably like when we were talking earlier. Even I was kind of going, okay, wait, what, because it's kind of like when you don't really, like I said, you were there. The rest of us can only read or hear what's been said and try to kind of
Right.
guesstimate, I guess, what was going on. Where, again, I want to make this very clear that Mikey has stated he was not there when Nicole Bowen was actually murdered. That when he
No.
returned, that she wasn't there, but her vehicle was still there, and that he's the one that shone the light about what happened when he, like I said you saw it in the newspaper. Was it, Mikey?
No, it was a Facebook post someone had sent to
Oh,
me
my
about
bad.
her having been found, and they
Facebook.
were asking for information. And like I said, in the group I used to hang out with, snitching is not tolerated, but there's morals in my opinion. Killing that girl, that female, she's a mom, and to be hugging on her, kissing on her like that just before doing it, what
Yeah.
kind of fucked up person are you? Sorry about the language.
No, don't act. No, you can say whatever you want in here. Again, I
Okay.
mean, yeah, you can swear, you can do whatever. It doesn't matter. We just all try to just speak honestly and truthfully, and that's simply about it. And then discuss things. So don't feel like you have to say anything that's supposed to be politically correct or appropriate or whatever. Just speak from your heart. Simple as that. And so
Yes,
Deb
ma'am.
says, yeah, Deb says, thank you, Mikey, for doing the right thing. And yeah, Deb.
Thank you.
So Deb and Mama Libra Scales, especially Mama Libra Scales, she normally does join me on my lives. Basically, we met through. She was in my channel, and we talked on Messenger. Me and her, like two peas in a pod, and so more times than not, it's like the me and Mama show on there. Just and same with Adam, who has joined us recently as well. Just very caring, deep hearted, spirit souls. Just such love and tenderness for the murder and the missing. Simple as that. But obviously, the main one that we kind of have been focusing on is the Delphi. I did not know about Nicole Bowen and Ray Hanish up until looking into the Delphi case. And as we talked about earlier today, um, open secrets. Um, and yes, so I know that you said that you would watch the Chris Mathis one, but there was so much more. So that in your downtime, Mikey, yeah, you know, all you have to do is go to Open Secrets YouTube and you can watch all those videos with Garrett Kurtz. I'm sure you'll learn or know maybe a little bit more. So, can we go back for a second to actually Ray Hanish? So, Ray Hanish was murdered on March 13th, and his body was found in his apartment on March 17th. And so we had discussed this a little bit earlier talking together. But the audience say doesn't know. Can you just tell them the little bit that you heard, just a little bit that you told me about Ray Hanish and what you knew?
On the ride to over to where we went by Brookston or Delphi, I'm not sure the name of the town there. I don't want to mention the person's name. Uh, but on the way over there, when he was talking about killing Nicole or whatever. Like I said, I thought he was blowing smoke, but anyway, he kept saying the hardest part to get past is strangling when you're strangling someone, the sound they make, and you know, he's obviously done it before. Whether it was Ray or not, but he's done it before. He knew what that sound was. He knew what he was doing.
Because you didn't, because you really didn't know anything about Ray's murder, but obviously that comment
Mhm.
told you
Yeah,
that
yep.
Right.
that he'd done something before,
Yeah, and exactly. And so,
or or he had thought about it a whole lot or something, you know.
absolutely. Well, like that's why, for me, it's kind of like through everything that's been said on Open Secrets. And although I know you mostly, it's just about the Nicole Bowen case, and that he's telling us, okay, everyone that's watching, that he didn't really know Garrett Kurtz. Do you want to explain that quickly again to the viewers?
Yeah, I lived in Kentland, and Jasmine lived down the street, and she'd called me to come over and give someone a ride, and that was the extent of me knowing him for a half hour before we left to the maybe hour ride there, maybe the half hour while we were there, and then that was it. That's the uh only interactions I ever had with Garrett.
Have
So I didn't know him very well at all.
had you heard, like, have you heard of him before this, or is it just through Chris Mathis that you even knew of Garrett
You
Kurtz?
cut out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. Um,
You cut
is
out.
it
I'm sorry.
no? Is that's okay? Yeah, whenever I cut out, just let me know. So is it really just through Chris Mathis, or had you heard of Garrett Kurtz prior to this at all? Prior to Nicole, have you ever?
All I
Because
heard. I'm sorry. All I heard was Chris Mathis and Garrett.
oh, are we
It
cutting out again?
froze. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
You're good.
Yeah, thank you. I was just wondering, before Nicole Bowen thing, had you ever heard of the name Garrett Kurtz, or was it distinctly through Chris Mathis?
No, no, I met him through Jasmine, not through Chris Mathis.
Oh, sorry, through Jasmine
Yeah,
Parker. Even I'm getting
yep.
myself turned around, correct? Um, and yes, okay, through Jasmine. But again, you know Chris Mathis and you know Jasmine. Um,
Yep.
how well did you know Talitha?
I didn't. I'd met her that first time when we got to the Brookston area when she was in the residence behind the one we went to.
Yeah. Hmm. And how long have you known
Yeah.
Chris Mathis? Oh, go ahead.
Chris Mathis I'd known for, I don't know, not like hung out with on a daily or anything, but known him or known of him for probably a couple years.
Okay. Um, I remember Chris Mathis talking about Garrett. Not that you know this, but I remember him talking about Garrett, how Garrett had kind of like disappeared, went off, I think, to do some music somewhere, whether it was Florida, Texas or Florida or something like that. And then he came back and he was like totally different. And he basically came back, he said something about meth and a couple of guys and guns, and he was just like that Garrett Kurtz was like a whole different person. Um, like I said, but I know you don't know Garrett Kurtz that well, but I just know, like, did did Chris Mathis ever tell you about Garrett Kurtz at all besides that one day?
No,
No? Okay.
no, I'd never heard the name before, and even that one day he didn't say anything because when I dropped off, when I dropped off Talitha and Garrett was there, Mathis was not there. So when I came back a couple later or whatever, whenever it was, when I came back and Mathis was there and he was looking all weird, sullen and everything, that was the last time I'd seen Mathis up until the other couple months ago in counting.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Where is Mathis right now, by the way? Where
Last I knew, he was in Newton County, then he got transferred to Jasper, and then he got transferred somewhere. I don't know where right now on unrelated charges,
Yeah.
I believe.
What I was confused about with Chris was that he was supposed to show up for court, and then they put a warrant out for his arrest. And I thought to myself, why? Why are you making your life harder? And so I know he has a court date coming up here, to be honest with you, now that I think about it. But I couldn't understand why, if he, like if he just got out of jail with, to do with the Nicole Bowen, and he, and then all of a sudden he had a meth charge, I believe it was. And then he didn't show up for that. And then he had a warrant out for his arrest. And I'm like, why, Chris? Why are you doing? Why are you continually going down this wrong path? Because I've always thought of him as that guy that puts his hand in the cookie jar. He's always doing that thing that gets him into trouble. But yet I think he's the least of the, I still think that he does bad things, but I think he's the least if you compare him on a Garrett Kurtz level or Ashley Garth level or Jason
I would
Palladino
agree
level.
with that. I would
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah. Like I actually have a soft spot for Chris Mathis, to be honest with you. But did he do you know why he didn't bother to show up for his court date? Did,
I don't know that.
I was just
I know meth is. I'll be honest. I know meth is a motherfucker when you're hooked on it, and you get your priorities all jacked up. And I'm not gonna say that's what happened, but I'm, you know, just putting that out there. You know, Chris is an alright guy when he's got his head on right. You know, that's why I couldn't believe he had any part of this. And how it happened, I don't know. I was told he was forced to do it, and then I was told he wasn't. So I don't, you know, I wasn't there. I don't know, but it
yeah,
doesn't strike me as a Chris move whatsoever. You know.
right. That's his girlfriend. I don't know what her real name was. His girlfriend left a message on one of my videos last year, and it said something like, well, I mean, my video was about, Garrett and Chris Mathis and all that. And then she said that it was all a bunch of lies, and he was that he was forced to do this because he was in a. Go ahead.
See, I was told that too, but you know, like I said, I haven't spoken to Mathis since that night. I seen him in passing in county months ago, but that's it. You know, I would say that was most likely true. You know, I was like I said, I can't say for sure. I wasn't there, but
Right. Well, I think the thing was, Mikey, was that apparently they were affiliate gangs or whatever, different gangs, but affiliates. I don't really know the terminology. I'm just
yeah,
repeating what I
they're,
heard.
they're both affiliated. Yeah,
Yeah, and that because Garrett asked him, it meant he had to help him. It was either that or basically, according to his girlfriend, Chris Mathis' girlfriend, it was either that or basically worry about getting killed yourself for not helping.
yeah. I
When,
couldn't speak on that as far as that goes. I'm not affiliated. I
yeah,
don't. You know, I don't know.
yeah, exactly. Um, there's somebody, if you don't mind, that's in chat that I wanted to ask you a question. It
That's
says,
fine.
yeah, it says, question for Mike. As you look at the picture of the BG, does he at all look like Garrett Kurtz to you at all?
Can you show it
Yeah,
again?
I can show it to you for sure. Let me just quickly go grab it. Got many of many of photos here.
If it's the picture of the guy in the hat, I don't think so. No.
Well, I'll show you a better one, and I don't know. Let me just make my thing bigger for a second in my D drive. Okay, let me go to my videos and let me see here. Which picture do I want to use? Mm-mm-mm. Let me go to okay. I'll probably just use this one to show it first, and then I'll bring it in. Okay, I gotta share my screen 1 second. Share screen. Okay, and I'll make it bigger. Just 1 second. Okay, so this would be like the bridge guy. Let me just take down this. Okay, so when you look at this at all, Mikey, do you see
Um,
Garrett Kurtz in there at all whatsoever? This is
I didn't spend much time with Garrett, but I thought he had a darker complexion. From what you look here, it looks like this guy's a lighter complexion,
well,
personally. But
yeah,
like I said, I didn't know Kurtz but for a handful of hours, you know.
yeah.
So I'm just thinking back to the the picture of him in the oranges I seen just a little bit ago. He seemed darker
Mm,
complected. I'm not saying it's not, you know. I'm not an expert at that, you know.
I was gonna say, um, so when it comes to Delphi, can you just explain to them what you do know and what you don't know? Um, just so because I just don't want the questions to be all about Delphi because I know that you do not that you have heard of Delphi, that you know of Delphi, but that you really, don't know
Yeah, I
about.
don't know anything as far as the case goes.
Okay. So yeah. So yeah, if you could just actually say it to the audience about, like I said, maybe, I don't know, it doesn't matter. What have you heard about Delphi?
What's that?
Like your thoughts on Delphi?
You're breaking up.
Oh, sorry.
My thoughts on Delphi?
Yeah, whatever they are.
Yeah, I think it's quite a coincidence that that Garrett knows the landowner Logan, and that the other gentleman you mentioned, they're all affiliated in one way or another, associated. You know, it's a big coincidence. I'm not saying that Garrett did or didn't have anything to do with it, but not to my knowledge. But it wouldn't surprise me if he did.
Correct, right? And that's really the path that we're taking. So let me just quickly look down here. So you guys, go on. So Mikey, basically,
Yeah.
he doesn't really know a lot when it comes to Delphi, or like he has told you, Garrett Kurtz. Okay. He agreed to come on to talk about Nicole Bowen, and of course, right, anything that he was willing to talk about that he knows. But I had talked to him previously, so I know our conversation with Delphi for sure is, besides based on his own personal thoughts. He did not know Garrett Kurtz well enough, so I had asked him. So let me just go ask you this. So I had asked you earlier, Mikey, if you knew who Keegan Dunker was, and your answer
Correct. Was no,
correct.
ma'am.
Right, you've never heard of that name. Okay.
Correct.
And as for the bridge guy, the BG, have you ever, besides seeing the video, have you ever truly looked at anything past of who it might look like?
I mean, I've glanced at it, but I never really tried to study because, like I said, I don't know that area to know what person it might would be. You know.
Yeah. And so if you were to guesstimate on why these two girls were murdered, what would be your thoughts on what would be behind it? Would it be drugs, money, murder, all of the above?
I would say the girls probably witnessed something they shouldn't have, and if they got that recording of that person walking on the bridge, maybe they thought they got a recording of them doing something, they shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah. Now,
Which regardless doesn't justify doing whatever was done. No, nothing justifies it, but
no. So, and I don't remember if you remember this, but as we talked about earlier, and we didn't talk about a lot of stuff, you guys. I like to do things more au naturel. We talked about some things, but again, I just like to do things au naturel when I'm doing the lives. So on the bridge, the BG clearly has a headphone set on, a microphone. He's got his jacket. Actually, let me just quickly, I'll bring him up. Okay, 1 second there, Mikey. And
okay.
let's see here. Okay. I'm just gonna
a key piece of that.
Okay. I'm just going to play this for a moment. I will share the screen. Okay, this is just a 2-minute and 26-second clip. I'll just quickly play. Okay, Mikey and guess.
In that case is that brief video and audio clip saying guys down the hill. Cops say 14-year-old Libby German captured it on her cell phone before she was killed. We had an audio expert compare the voice on the recording with the voice of James Chadwell to see if there's a match.
They're the most tantalizing clues in the unsolved murders of 14-year-old Libby German and her best friend, Abby Williams. The haunting video and audio were recorded by Libby at the moment the murder suspect comes at them on this train trestle in Delphi, Indiana in 2017. Inside Edition asked a top forensic audio expert to compare the mystery voice with that of James Chadwell, who faces charges of imprisoning a 9-year-old girl in his basement 20 miles from Delphi.
Come find me, or I will find you.
We discovered recordings of Chadwell's voice on his creepy social media posts.
I'm in my boxers. Thunderstorm. Because I can. Live life. Have fun.
In this post, he's training his pit bull outlaw to chase cats.
Kitty cat. You see it? Kitty cat. I love you.
And here, he's designing a
Art's all
tattoo of a
about what
woman
means to
being
you.
attacked by a demon in a tree.
It's all about putting your emotions and your feelings on paper.
A creepy dude for sure with a long criminal history. But does his voice sound like the man Libby German recorded? The recordings were analyzed by forensic audio expert Anthony Nelson at the Garrett Discovery Audio Lab in Orlando. Are you able to say that there are any similarities between these two sources of audio?
No, I'm not, Steven. Basically, the audio file is a little too short. When you only have 3 seconds, it's just not enough time to figure out those kinds of characteristics.
A disappointing outcome, but could it still be the same man? As detectives reportedly set their sights on the 42-year-old laid-off welder.
Hey, I've got a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
I got a question. You'd mentioned earlier that he was wearing a microphone and an earpiece, saying that maybe he was recording an incident. Who's to say that isn't a microphone and an earpiece on a two-way radio? And
No,
he's talking to someone else on the guys.
that's what I believe it is. I believe he's communicating with somebody or other people. On his
Okay, see, I thought you meant that he was You said that he was recording something, recording the incident.
correct. On the top of his hat, there's like a little camera as well on the top of
Oh,
his
okay.
hat. Yes. So let me put it this way. He's moving his mouth in that clip. That clip is only about 1 second, just a little over a second long. Okay. Other than that, it's just looping over and over. But during that recording, you'll see him move his mouth as if he's talking. Some people will say that he's spitting. No, but that's for people to want to think too. Whatever, it's up to them. He has a headphone. He has a microphone. To me, he's communicating with somebody. The LE did go into stores and that, wondering about people that purchased video recording stuff, cameras, whatever. So there is that perception definitely out there that regardless that the girls were videotaped, their murders were on videotape. So that's two separate things that we're talking about. One, having a camera. Two, exactly, talking with someone. Now, the Chadwell guy, had you heard of him at all before, up until
No.
no, yeah.
No.
Although he has a lot of characteristics that are similar to the BG, like meaning that he likes bridges, that people started thinking that he had tattoos on his arm. To me, I know for myself that he's not the bridge guy, but he's a human piece of shit, is what he is.
Yep, he definitely is.
Yeah. You must have seen on the news the story about it all, yes? Kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of like, I think, what most of us feel about Ashley Garth and Garrett Kurtz, all these murders and people that are taking other people's lives, for no reason. I mean, karma is at least coming back at them. Garrett Kurt, 55 years. And I remember
55 years, and he's going to do what, 75%, get some time cuts, do 25, 30 years probably, and get off for murdering that girl like that. That's not right.
Right. I know. I felt the same way. And I kind of felt the same way about Mathis. I feel like Mathis deserved, like more time than he got because he still was there. He still was
and he still didn't come clean with what happened, which, like I said, I understand that code. We don't snitch on each other, but you should have morals. It's different when it's women and children.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was going to say, like, I know that when Chris Mathis was talking on Open Secrets, he was, talking and reading the note or whatever, and then Garrett Kurtz, I guess Garrett Kurtz said that he lied at first about Chris Mathis's role, and that he then told the truth apparently, and that he was just his, what do you want to call him, the not the wingman, but something similar to that. That he was just his, like, what was the word he used, on the side or whatever. That he was, he didn't murder her. It was just, he basically made him ride sidekick in the car or something like that to help dispose of the body. And so it's kind of like, I guess he must have lied at first, Garrett Kurtz. He must have told a different story, and then he retracted it to tell the truth, and then he turns around and asks him for some commissary money. I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm just like, really, dude? Some sort of friend. Now the thing is that, and I didn't bring this up last night, and I meant to, is that there was another person in here that, like I said, knows of Garrett Kurtz, and she said that everybody is scared of Garrett Kurtz. That, like, and I remember watching that fight with Garrett Kurtz with this chunky guy named Trent that looks like Keegan Kline, like a 300-pound dude, 350-pound dude, yeah. And Garrett was getting his ass whooped, like his arm dislocated because he must have issues. So I'm like, I'm just having a hard time picturing.
Yeah, it don't matter who you are, you can't win them all. I'm not saying Kurtz was a badass or nothing, but I know the people they fucked with weren't to be fucked with. Sorry about the language again, but
no, say what you want. So say that again. That the people that he was around. Go ahead.
yeah, people that he was around ain't people to be fucked with,
Right.
It's from what I've heard. It's from what I've heard. That's why I said I don't want to go into nothing with the other person's name whatsoever.
Right.
I don't know him, but I've heard enough to.
Yeah. So for the audience again, did you know? Go ahead.
I couldn't hear you. You started to break up. Go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. I thought you were going to say something. Did you, for the audience, do you know of Jason Palladino, or just besides that day again?
I've met Jason Palladino one time in my life for 15 minutes.
That was on the day of Nicole's murder, or no?
That's all I'd like to say about that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And okay, so let me just quickly go into chat again. Thanks, Mikey. And then it says, "Hi, Lord. This is Mikey Hittle. He's the one who called the Ellie about Nicole being killed. He had no part in the murder, but was there before and after." Exactly. So again, we just want to thank Mikey for coming on tonight.
Not just after the murder. It was after the body was disposed of and everything. I wasn't there for any of that whatsoever at the end.
Okay. So you were there before.
I just want that to be before and after the body was disposed of.
And after the body. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think, just as your own thoughts,
You're breaking up.
Okay. Do you think that Doug Carter, when he was referring to the shack, and they called where Nicole was found a hunting shack, do you think he was referring to the same thing?
I can't hear you. You're breaking up.
Okay. Just tell me when you're not.
Can you hear me? All right. There you go.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
You're good now. You're good.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Do you think that Doug Carter was referring to the hunting shack when he said, when he was talking about the Delphi murders, about people that he watched a movie called The Shack? Because the term hunting shack is what they used for where Nicole Bowen's body was found. That's just more of a personal, like, do you think?
I couldn't say. I don't know him either,
Doug Carter. Go ahead.
And I don't think that hunting shack was anything pre-planned, because I hung out at Jasmine's quite a bit, and I'd never seen Garrett there, so I know he didn't know the area. And when I was taking him down that way, he didn't know the area. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't think that was even pre-planned.
I don't think so at all either. I think it was actually really sloppy, to be honest with you. Do you think is Chris Mathis' comment correct when he says that when you're on meth, you become like super intelligent, like you could make a what was it, a tracker or whatever device out of a laptop? Basically, I think it's something like that.
I'm an ex-drug addict, and you know I've completed IOP. I'm clean, and I think meth does not fucking make you smarter. It makes you think you're smarter. It makes you, you know, to
Oh,
whack out on some things and think you know what you're doing. But there's no advantages to meth.
yeah, I have no clue about it whatsoever. I do have a niece that's been fighting meth and different drugs for the last 10, 15 years now. I couldn't tell you though. I've never done it. So, like I said, for someone that has, I was just curious myself, like others, like because everyone kind of like laughs at that statement of Chris Mathis that they become like
Only
these.
thing, only thing you say does it motivates you, but the slowest thing in the world is a tweaker in a hurry. I mean, you might be moving faster, but you ain't getting shit done.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay. Viewers, make your way into our chat room, say hello. Okay, and I've asked you this, but I'll ask it again just because they don't know that I asked you this question. Sonny, has Mike ever heard of Derek German? That was Libby's dad.
No, ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Let's see
I
here.
will.
Go ahead. What were you saying, Mikey?
I said I wish I had heard of him or someone. You know, I wish I had more insight on the Delphi case. Some girls need justice.
Absolutely. And you know what? At the end of the day, too, you
You
know,
know, I've been smashed enough over the Nicole, you know, ordeal over me snitching on them. You know, I ain't afraid to say it. I snitched on them. You know, I've been smashed enough over it. But if it was a Delphi case, I'd do it again too.
yeah. And
You
I
know,
want
you
to,
should have moral.
I was going to say, again, thank you for coming on the live tonight and talking about it, for not hiding behind a camera, for not, you know, for just coming on and being a voice for the voiceless. Because, again, right? You know what? That's between you and God, whatever, however you want to look at it. But it's about your
Yeah.
heart doing the right thing that you know was the right thing to do. And that is the best person that somebody can be. Right. So they can sit there and say snitches and whatever all you want, you know, type of thing. But you have to be right with yourself. And I mean,
I agree.
I'm sure it would have weighed on you heavily if you would have said
It,
nothing.
it still does anyway because I took him there. You know, he kept saying it on the way there, and you just think someone's blowing smoke. You know, I could have stopped that. You know, potentially.
I was going to say, right? I mean, at the end of the day, everything happens for reasons. It works out for reasons or whatever. And I guess it's one of those things that you can beat yourself up over it, but you didn't control what he did. He controls his own actions and thoughts, and everyone's accountable for those. You didn't, you know, force him, make him do anything that he wasn't willing to do, or Ashley, Garth, or anyone else in
No,
there.
you got to understand my conscience will never be clear because he did say it on the way. You know, regardless if I did the right thing in the end, you know, I probably could have prevented it, and a lot of men would have. You know.
I guess you didn't. I guess you know, for the sake of it, if I think about it though, like, I'm sure you did. You honestly believe him though when he said that, or were you just
No,
thinking it was
not at all.
right?
Not at
So
all. But still, he said it. You know.
yeah, I know that, but most people say a lot of things, but do they? Most people don't act on those things. They just blow steam out of their ass, you know. So that's
Right.
the thing, is that only because you have hindsight to now go, oh my God, I didn't know he literally meant he was going to do that. I thought he was just whatever. So it's almost like, I'm sure just kind of like Kelsey German, you know, no matter what you say, she's the one that drove the girls to the bridge that day, and, you know, to the Monon High Bridge Trail that day. So that's the sister of Libby German that dropped them off. Oh, I can see that you're lagging. One sec. Let's see if it kicks back in. Yeah, he's obviously lagging here. Whoops, let me come back over here. Oh, yeah, he dropped. I'm just messaging him in Messenger. You should have the link already, but I'll send it again. And I'm sorry if the comments are way, way down there below. Let's try to get him. Let's see if we can get him back on there. So, okay. So where was it? I was here. You ever heard of there being a video? So I can answer that for you. No, he didn't. He really truly doesn't know much about Delphi. Which I didn't ask him too much, but when I talked to him earlier before the live, it was clear to me that like he wasn't charged, for anything to do with Nicole. And the reason why is that although his name's there and he was there, he wasn't part of the murder. But it's kind of almost like Jason Palladino got off some scot-free on that one so far as well. I'm sorry that there's a bunch of questions down here. So it says they're here on the record that she entered into an agreement. I haven't heard from, there, okay. Let's see if he's coming back in here. Oh, there he is. Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you for coming back, Mikey.
Yes, ma'am.
I know that there's lives are never predictable. So I felt that you were dropping, and I don't even know what I was saying to you at the time either. I was too busy watching your face froze, and I was like, oh, he's dropping on there. So yeah, I honestly don't remember what I was even talking about now. So if you don't mind, can we just kind of go down the list here and see what people are saying?
That's fine. Yep.
Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Laura says, what is Mikey's opinion on the reason for the murder of Nicole Bowen? What was the atmosphere being around those people that night, the night of the murder?
Like I said, I was only with Garrett and them for about a half hour before we left. Me and Garrett left. And, the atmosphere was fine at that time. He didn't talk about anything about Nicole until we got in the car. And as far as the reason, there's no reason. There's no justified reason. But he said because of snitching on him at one time.
Now, I was going to say, because I'm not sure if you want to say, but I remember earlier you said that there was possibly two reasons.
Yeah, he told me on the way there that they had been together a while before that. I don't remember exactly how long before that. And that they were riding somewhere. He was driving, I think, and he had some coke on him. He threw the coke at her. She took it. When they got to the station, she wrote a statement on him for the coke saying it was his, and they threw it at her. And he said he went to prison for that.
Okay.
And then the other reason I had heard is because she'd snitched on Kurtz and another gentleman for cooking methamphetamines.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Which I think everyone knows. Well, everyone knows because we talk about it too, which would be JP, the initials, and they know who that is. It's just like I said, it's just say what you know, don't say what you don't know. But if you have your own thoughts about anything, like I said, just feel free, because that's really what this is about. It's just like you can talk about Nicole Bowen for the stuff that you knew. For us, it's all just speculation for any of it, to be honest with you.
Right.
And it's just like I said, thank you for coming on and talk about Nicole for sure. And, giving us your part, because like I said, you had, that's what we were talking about. It was about the fact that you not controlling his actions and thought. And Kelsey German, Libby's sister, dropped those girls off at the trails that day. So no matter... That's
different. She dropped them off at trails to go hiking. I took it a guy somewhere where he was saying he was going to kill the girl. Was she supposed to be there? Not that I know of. Was she there when we got there? No. But
Yeah.
still, the odds of running into her, I don't. That's pretty crazy. I don't know how often she went over there, but what's the odds of her pulling in as we're pulling out? That's a
What's
motherfucker.
What was the odds of what did you just say there, Mikey? What was the
Of her,
odds? What?
of her pulling in the driveway as we're pulling out. I don't know
Right.
how often she went there, but that's. But still,
Yeah.
he said it in the way. Whether knowing he's blowing smoke or not blowing smoke, I should have never took him.
Right.
Well,
you know what though? You did the right thing after, regardless. You
yeah,
weren't. Like meaning you weren't charged for anything to do with Nicole's death, correct?
correct.
Right.
And
And
I didn't. And I'd like to make it clear that I didn't snitch on Kurtz to get any kind of time cut, any kind of leniency, any kind of favoritism from the prosecution. I still did my time for my crimes, my separate crimes that at that time I wasn't incarcerated, but shortly after I was. I got no kind of credit for that. I did it for moral reasons, not for any kind of benefit.
absolutely. And those are the best kind, to be honest with you. So it's kind of like, what you felt you did wrong, then you took that wrong and made it a right.
Mm,
I mean, at the end of the day, honestly, Mikey, things will work out the way they're meant to work out,
exactly.
regardless. You
For good
know,
or bad, for good or bad, it's gonna happen the way it's supposed to. Like
it is.
I'm sure there'll be consequences and repercussions from this video, but I'm willing to deal with that because I did what I think was right. Whether everybody else thinks it's right or not, I did.
Well, again, if these other people look at it like if it was their own family member that it happened to, you know what I mean? Everyone can
Like,
place judgment so easily on others.
yeah, but
But
common sense and good sense ain't so common anymore.
it's not, unfortunately. So I know personally that you're doing the right thing again. And I know that you said you've taken heat from it. And even though that is really so disgusting to me, because obviously, again, if it applied to those family members that are trying to accuse you of snitching or whatever, really, if it happened to your mom, dad, brother, sister, whatever, you would not be singing that same tune if it happened to them. And so, people are always so quick to judge and say things until, they walk a mile in somebody else's shoes. And then it's a whole different song and dance for sure.
Yeah.
Now, just to quickly ask you, and I think this is what you said to me earlier. So you weren't asked to testify at Garrett Kurt's trial, but
No, but I was asked to testify at Ashley Garth's, and it had me really upset because I wasn't there when it happened. I don't know what she did, so I was really upset about that. I went to the courthouse the day I was subpoenaed, and they had released me from witness before it ended.
oh, okay. So that they asked you to. So sorry, let me just make sure I got that right. So they asked you to testify, or you're going to testify against Ashley,
Yes,
but you never had to.
right. I went to the court the day of the subpoena. They brought me into the prosecutor's office
Yeah.
about 3-4 days before to talk about it, and then said I was subpoenaed. And I went to the court, and I talked to the prosecutor beforehand. He said, "Yeah, everything's proceeding." And about an hour into it, he let me go. I wasn't allowed in the courtroom because I was a witness, so
Yeah.
I was in the hall. So he let me go. I don't know
Okay.
what happened.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Again, it worked out, I guess, the way it was meant to work out. And I mean, neither of them truly got their just desserts for taking another human's life.
I
And
agree.
this is where it's hard because of the Ray Hanish case, where it's like, again, what's the chances, right, that
Yeah.
Nicole?
Speaking of that, you have a viewer that asked if I wondered if Garrett Kurtz ever murdered anyone else before. On the way to where he was going, he had talked about the worst part about killing someone is the sound they make when you're strangling them. You know, I think he had something to do with Ray. I don't know, but he's
Well,
done it or thought about it a whole lot. One of the two before Nicole.
so who was it, or did anyone did because you vaguely said that you had heard that there was, whether it was a gay guy or whatever that got murdered, not too
Yeah,
long.
I'd heard that they found Kurt's semen in his anus. Uh, true, I don't know, but I'd heard that, and he was dead, of course, strangled. And then when I heard that, I thought about, he talking about how he strangled a guy, and the worst thing about it is the sound. And I told the investigators that at the Bowen interview. I don't know.
And so, and I also asked you if, because of this lady yesterday that had said if Garrett Kurtz was bisexual, and did you want to comment on that, or what you had heard, or?
I mean, I'd heard things, but I didn't know the guy. Afterwards, I'd heard things. Uh, he come across, he might have been to me, yeah, a little bit.
What was that last thing you said, Mikey?
I said, did he kind of come across that way to me? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. I was going to say, I probably wouldn't have thought about it. Like, I usually have pretty good, like gaydar or whatever you want to call it, right? And I don't give a shit what somebody does in their life. Do not care. But
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, I don't care either way. I'm not homophobic or nothing, but he come across, I don't
Yeah.
know, not like feminine, but I don't know.
Right. Because I think the person was almost like was saying that he was more like would be the more dominant one, if anything. And I could see that if that was the case with Ray, that because Garrett comes off more masculine, and that's why I actually, I don't know him well enough, so I kind of was like going, really? At first, gay? But it's not like I've spent time besides watching him in open secret videos. That's pretty much about it, or his own videos that he has on his Facebook channel. August says, Mikey, have you ever wondered if GK ever murdered anyone else after Nicole?
Oh, after? No, there's no way he did because I turned him in. As soon
Yeah,
as I seen the post on Facebook.
yeah. I was gonna say because he's been in jail and prison now ever since, correct?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, because I think it was April 2nd. I think it was April 2nd that that he was brought in, if I'm not mistaken, on that one. And was and Ashley Garth, was that the first time you met her
Yes, yep.
as well? What did you think of Ashley? Go ahead.
Ashley was crazy. I mean, she was bouncing around the house, arguing with Kurtz. Just crazy, strung out.
Yeah. But again, I know you have said this, that Jasmine Parker, you knew Chris Mathis.
Correct.
So the conversation with you and Garrett. So Garrett sends you a message that says, "Hey."
Yeah, he did that when we were sitting right beside each other, getting high before we left. He sent me a message on my Facebook saying, "Hey," and it was just a message request because I never answered it. It was just so I had his Facebook info. We just met.
Okay. And so how did that go from hey, just to go back to it again, how did that go from hey to you driving him?
That's what I was called over to Jasmine's for initially, is to drive him. I knew that when I got there, I was supposed to drive him to get some dope, and
Right.
he had a hookup down there or whatever, and just needed a ride. Yeah. So that's how it happened. We got high and we left.
Do you think about this all the time, I suppose?
I do,
Yeah.
yeah. Yep. Type of situation I put myself in, and that shit puts somebody in.
Yeah. I mean, it is hard when you sit there and you think of this mother that had 2 children, and Ashley Garth at first was going to get off, I think, with 5 years, and they were really trying to push for this plea deal, I believe it was, because Chris Mathis, and I think you would know this by open secrets, basically it was like, hey, Chris, if I punched her, would my DNA be on her body or whatever? And basically, from what I believe Cheryl, which is Nicole Bowen's mom, and by what Shar, which is Ray Hanish's sister, said was that Nicole's son made a huge impact on the judge because they took their mother, and basically, if I'm not mistaken, that yes, it was going to go to jury trial. None of this plea bargain, get out of it stuff, because she had to take a polygraph test, right, before
Okay.
this deal would have been, sealed or whatever. But obviously, I'm sure she failed it with flying colors. Well, she obviously did, because she did a lot more than just punch her. So I know we talked about this earlier, but they wouldn't know. So what do you think? How do you ever think about, or how do you think it played out in your head with what happened that day? Like, when I say that, I'm just talking about, that Garrett Kurtz and Ashley and her were supposedly fighting. Garrett Kurtz puts Nicole in a headlock. How did you see it playing out?
I don't know, but from this is what I would see. When I came back and Nicole wasn't there, Ashley was. Ashley was at that trailer when me and Kurtz left, okay? But when me and Talitha got there and Kurtz was already there, I didn't see Ashley sitting there. So what I would say is Ashley was told to hide or hid, and they didn't see each other. And then when they did, they started going at it. This is my assumption. And Kurtz got behind her, put her in a headlock, and then I was told that Ashley gave her the cord.
Right. And that she was, and then, from what we've seen or heard, that she's the one that actually yanked on it till it broke.
Obviously, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's what was, but the thing is that
That's why I didn't want to testify against Ashley. I mean, I was subpoenaed. I was there. I was going to do it, but I don't know what she did there. Do I doubt what you're saying? Not a bit.
Right.
I don't know anything.
It's more going up with the testimony. Like, I mean,
Of course. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but how credible is Kurtz? Who's to say he ain't gonna try and take her down, make her sink with him just because?
yeah.
Hoping he'll get more grace for telling him that she was involved. I'm not saying it went that way at all. I'm just saying, but who's to say?
Well, exactly. Chris Mathis, according
That's
to
why I
Chris.
didn't want to testify. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, and I get that absolutely. According to Chris Mathis, he had said that he had said that Ashley was manipulative. Basically that she thought she was like psychologist, or she basically thought she was really smart, and very. I think the question to Open Secrets was about them being toxic to each other. And then Mathis kind of goes, toxic? And then that's when he kind of said, hey, Ashley Garth, she's manipulative. She's probably one of the most manipulative, emotional people that he's ever met, basically. And that she thinks she has like a doctorate in like psychology and, et cetera, et cetera. So if I was just to go based on my own thoughts between who was telling the truth more or not, to be honest, I'm probably going to have to go with believing more of what Garrett Kurtz is saying than Ashley Garth, because Ashley is manipulative. You can tell she is.
I believe it.
Let me put it this way. Females, regardless, can play very good head games with men. We know it, and we can get away with it typically if we want to, because men and women think so differently. So from everything I've learned about Ashley myself, I would say that if I had to believe, I picture this in my head, like I said, here, Garrett, here, or he might have said, get me something, and Ashley was all willing to like bring him the freaking cord or something, and then do her part. That's how either way, they're both as guilty as shit, and they're both pieces of shit.
I agree. I totally agree. I wouldn't try to defend her at all.
No, to the live. I mean, before me and Mikey chatted, the first thing that he had said to me was, basically, if I'm there to defend Ashley or Garth, I don't want to, Ashley or Garrett, I don't want to talk to you. And I was like thinking, oh no, I'm the furthest thing away from ever defending those two. Absolutely. Everyone that's in here, no one has any love for those people whatsoever.
Good.
This is all about justice for the girls, for the Delphi, for Nicole, for Ray for Garrett Kurtz. Brian Goki says Garrett Kurtz said that he put her body in a hunting jack because he wanted her to be found. That's true. Like he did say that. That basically, yeah. Like in my head, I'm like, okay, so you stage Ray Hanish's death, but you guys sloppily get rid of her in a shack and you want her to be found?
Well, they ain't the brightest crayons in the box to start with. So they might have thought it was a slick place, but you know, they weren't that bright. I wouldn't give them enough credit. I wouldn't give them the credit of wanting her body found, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want her body found. He's a piece of shit all around. He wasn't trying to do the right thing, at least let her body be put to rest, you know. No, fuck that. He was trying to hide the body as best he knew how. He's whacked out and he's retarded. Sorry about my language.
And that's why people have a hard time believing that Kurtz had anything to do with Delphi, because basically people are going, no, these people are idiots. They're like the biggest bumbling ass idiots. There's no way these people could get away with Delphi, because it's obviously been 5 years just passed for the girls. And
Okay, but then I come back with that with, you know, you said dude had a camera on his head and he's got a walkie-talkie with a microphone and an earpiece. That's some tweaker shit.
Right.
You know, who's to say it ain't some tweakers?
With that, what was that last comment?
I'm an ex-tweaker, you know. I don't do that shit no more. I'm clean.
Yeah.
You know, first time clean in a long time, and I can tell you that's some tweaker shit.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Mikey, I have a favor to ask of you.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind. So Sleuth is asking, do you know Nick Edwards?
I do not.
Okay, so Nick Edwards, again, you'll understand maybe these names whenever you do go listen to Open Secrets and the rest of them, because Garrett Kurtz said that, I believe it, what's her name? Sheena Contrell, Nick Edwards, Sheena Cottrell, Nick Edwards, that Ashley was talking about the murder, the video of the girls' murders, and that Garrett said that Ashley was talking about it with Nick Edwards and this Sheena Cottrell. And then Open Secret says, oh my God, really? What was on the tapes? And he's like, I don't know. She shut me down. She didn't talk about it. So that kind of came off like a lie. You know, so again, it's to do with the Delphi part. And I know once you actually do watch the videos more on Open Secrets, you'll see Garrett Kurtz saying different things, talking about Michaela Babcock, which is the cousin to Libby, but Garrett and Michaela Babcock were like good friends, which is Libby's cousin. So it's like
There's a lot of coincidences.
What'd you say?
A lot of connections or coincidences, one of the two.
I don't really believe in coincidences, that's for sure. I think that there's just too much attachments to Garrett Kurtz, Ashley. I mean, out of his mouth, regardless of the fact, like one of his friends that I talked to said that Garrett says whatever he wants you to believe or says. Whereas Garrett in his video, and he'll be like, I was raised to tell the truth, you know, da-da-da-da-da. That's just the way I am. And it's like, fuck off, Garrett. Like, shut the hell up already. Because you are so full of shit, dude. Because
you're still such a piece of shit.
Yeah, you know. And then
you said I can say whatever I want on here, right?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
I hope you're getting ass raped every day, Kurtz.
Yeah.
I was saying this is
I think there's many of us that feel that same way, to be honest with you.
He deserves it, you know what? That young girl didn't need to die. And to be lured there, hugged on, kissed on just before doing it, what kind of person are you, you know?
Right, you know. Because you said you were only there for about a half an hour, correct? And then
before you left?
You said you were only there for about a half an hour at the start, correct?
Yeah, before me and Garrett left to get stuff, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, before you left to get stuff or whatever. And now, I think, was it Talitha or Jasmine? I think Talitha. One of them said that they were hiding in the bedroom.
Before we left,
Well,
because
Ashley.
Talitha we picked up at the second residence behind the first residence we went to. We picked Talitha up there, and that's when me and Talitha rode together, and Nicole and Garrett rode in a separate car, Scion.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember how that went. If it was Jasmine or Talitha.
Like I said when we got back, or when I got there,
Yeah.
Kurtz was there and Nicole was there, sitting beside each other on the couch all over W, and I didn't see Ashley. So, like I said, Ashley was probably in hiding at that time.
Yeah, I think that's where the story goes, that she was in the back room with Talitha, I believe it was, because I remember reading that part, and I'm not sure. I think that part was actually, where did I read that? You know what, Mikey? I read so many things. I'm trying to remember if I read that in Ashley Garth's appeal, or
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like 70% sure that Talitha was in the living room when I came back, but Ashley wasn't. I'm not 100%, but I'm like 70% sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that was after I'd come back.
I did that. Yeah. Let's see here. Sleuth Intuition. He has his channel with Delphi and other cases as well. So welcome, Sleuth. Thank you for coming to join us. Sleuth actually loves coming to our channel because he knows that the girls know how to party in this channel, and Adam. So he'll come in and sneak a peek. So Kurtz mentioned to Open Secrets that Ashley Garth told him she's seen it. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. That she's seen a video of Libby's murder, right? So you never heard anything, right? You're saying nothing.
No, I don't know. I don't know down that way. I don't know people down that way. And I just met Ashley that first time. I really wish I had any kind of information that would help with that case.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I'm just, again, I'm very appreciative that even though I know you don't know about that, it doesn't matter. This is like, Nicole as well, right? Again, just for people to hear the truth, from somebody that was there. I know you weren't there for all of it, but either or, you were there. So it gives a better perspective, on it. And not only that, but again, it's like you're telling your truth. And Laura says, I wish Mikey didn't feel bad about taking him over there. Let's face it. People talk shit. There was no reason to believe him. However, he did do the right thing once he found out. Yeah. So hopefully, Mikey, and I know regardless, but hopefully just little by little, you give yourself a little bit of credit for the fact that you turn something that you didn't realize he meant what he was going to do, because most people blow smoke out of their ass, but you turned a wrong into a right. And that was the best thing, because who knows what really would have happened at the end of the day. So, you turned a wrong into a right. And you know what? Nobody's perfect, eh?
Yeah.
You didn't know. So hopefully you can take a little bit off yourself a little bit, just because things were going to play out. So everyone, you know what I mean? It's kind of, what you're saying is almost like if somebody walked out in front of a bus and then they got hit, and if only they could take back that last 2 seconds, and that other person could have quickly jumped in and saved them.
Yeah, but they weren't saying to him that, hey, you're going to get hit by that bus,
Right. But
I mean, I don't want to make this a pity party about me. I'm just saying that,
it's not.
I'll always have a guilty conscience over, regardless of what I did in the end,
Yeah. Well, I was going to say at the end of the day, right? I mean, you're the one that either can, I guess, accept what you think you've done or didn't do. But
yeah, I've accepted it. I'm good with it. I just got a little heavy conscience about it.
Well, I was, like I said, I was truly amazed that you just even agreed to come on the live today. I didn't expect it. I wasn't even expecting to ask that of you. I just thought, okay, well, you know what? I'm kind of like one of those YOLO people. YOLO, whatever.
Yep.
No harm in asking. What's the
That's
worst
right.
I can hear is no. So I've done that with some people throughout. Is just send them a messenger message, and if I'm trying to find an answer, then I was just like, oh, okay. Again, I overlooked your name originally in that whole thing, so I was too busy focused on Palladino and Kurtz and those names. It's almost like your name wasn't there. And then a friend of mine that sends me a lot of information had sent me that, and then she's like, I believe that's where the M is, or that's the M that Chris Mathis was talking about. And I was like, you know what, you're right, because I was trying to figure out who the M was, and that M would have been you, but she just happened to think it meant Mark Palladino Open Secrets, when really the M was you, when she thought that Open Secrets was going to ask Chris Mathis about you, but she didn't know your name at all to bring up. So when he said M, it just made sense that it clicked, and that's why I was like, you're right. And that's why I reached out to you to say, hey, can I
Yeah,
ask?
but Mathis is an alright person, but I don't see him shielding me. I don't think he would have shielded my name. Uh,
He
so
didn't choose your name, no.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think he would have been fucked up by using my name. He wouldn't have. I don't know.
You know what? I don't think he would have used your name. I think he was just, that's why he kind of said, oh, yeah, the M. And I could be totally wrong, but it just makes sense that it does kind of go hand in hand, because they were talking about Nicole Bowen. And then she says, oh, there's that guy with the M name, or this name or whatever. And then Kurtz was or not Kurtz, Mathis was almost expecting like, oh, like, yeah, like M. And then you watched the video, right? That same one?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna read up on all this tonight, because there's
Abs-
a lot of it you mentioned that I haven't heard of.
Yeah. Very eye-opening for sure. So regardless, whether or not it was the M was for you or not for you, regardless, it led me to you, which led you to this tonight, which led to talking about Nicole. And again, in her honor, in the sense, just to, like I said, people are accusing you of being a snitch and whatever, but really, who's the bad? Like, honestly, who's the one that has the more pure heart here? Was it doing the right thing, or the people that don't do the right thing? Kind of like with the Delphi murders, the people that have knowledge. Like I said,
And there are people. There's got to be people.
say that again.
There's got to be people that do have knowledge. You're a sorry piece of shit for not coming forward with it.
Do you believe it was just one person, or do you believe it was multiple?
I mean, it's two girls that can walk and run. I mean, how's one guy gonna snatch up two girls like that? I mean, I couldn't see it.
Yeah, even if he pulled out a gun on them, and
I
we all,
mean, I guess anything's possible. Remember how scared they were, and but
yeah. It's just, the thing is that honestly, we don't know a lot. That's the truth. Like, we don't
yeah,
really know if they did cross the water, if they didn't cross the creek, because down the hill could mean down the hill to the private drive. They could have been taken from there. You know what I mean? People have kind of led the story, more so the narrative of the story. But in all actuality, when you look at the case, very little by the LE has been said about the case. It's more of a lot of speculation, a lot of hearsay, a lot of leaked text, a lot of that is, more so rumored and kind of gone, you know how it goes. Here's a tree,
yeah.
and it goes off at about 1,000 branches. And then you just try to go
Like
ahead.
you said, with a two-way radio and two girls, and saying down the hill guys rather than girls, it was probably more than one person.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Yeah. No, and that, you know what, again, and that's really all it is. I mean, there's so many different POIs for the Delphi murders. It's not even funny. It's just, every week or every other week, there's somebody new that they're talking about, or, bringing back to life or whatever. Mama says, do you know what gang affiliation was connected? I thought
To
I
who?
heard,
To
Mama,
Mathis or to Kurtz?
Well, I was going to ask you something before, and I didn't yet. Mikey, Mama usually joins me. Would you be okay if she did join me to ask you a couple things that I
That's
know?
fine.
Would that be okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, that's perfect. Because honestly, I have to go pee. I have to go give the toilet a drink, and I can. It allows me to get some water. Do you have? And if you do too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the restroom too.
Okay, so just put your cam on. Remember, hit stop on your cam and hit your mic, and then when you come back again, then you can just take it back off.
It's not showing my camera. It
Hey.
shows me, but it doesn't. It shows me, but it doesn't show any functions. Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah, there you go. See, there's the avatar.
Okay.
And then you can
Good.
just get your mic off so we don't hear. And then you can just turn it back on, or I can turn it off. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah. Mama, I'm going to drop you the link if you don't mind in Messenger. Is that okay with you, Mama? Mm-hmm. I'm probably Sunny's the owner of that trailer. Sunny was it was the owner of the trailer that hid. Yeah, I think it was Talitha. All of a sudden, it's funny how my brain becomes mush. Sometimes I read this shit all the time. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for Mama to come on, then she can give me a break and a breather, which I will appreciate, because I'm sure she probably has some things that she might like to ask. Mikey was good insight. Sluicer. Yeah. Oh, there she is. Okay, Mama. Mama, thank you so much for coming on. Oh, we can't hear you yet. Okay, Mama.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, there you are. Okay. I am dying of thirst and I need to go give the toilet a drink.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta turn my volume up. Can you hear me now? Sunny.
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry.
All right, no, you're good.
Okay. So yeah, I'm sure there's some questions that I'm overlooking to ask because I'm sitting here dying of thirst and I'm like, oh, there. Okay. There we go. Okay. Whose TV is in the background?
I'm trying to turn it off. There we go.
Oh, is that you? Okay. So, so Mikey, this is my good friend Mama Libra Scales. You can call her Mama or Chrissy. So I'm just gonna go to the bathroom, like I said, get a drink, and she's like my twin. So I'm just gonna leave you with Mama. She's a great person. So I'll be back in a moment.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
So what I was asking is, I thought you said earlier something about gang affiliation.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not affiliated, but I'm sure you're probably not supposed to talk about that shit. But like I said, I'm not affiliated. As far as I know, Kurtz is a dirty white boy, and I don't know for sure that Mathis is affiliated or not, but it'd be Latin King if anything.
A dirty white boy.
Kurtz, yes.
Okay. And do you know if he had any possible connections to like drug rings? Did he have any connection to like dealing or anything of that nature?
I mean, that's outside of the realm of my moral compass. I mean, that's not in my morals to talk about something like that. The murder is a different story. Sorry.
Stop that, Richard. That is not funny. Sorry. Give me just a second. I'm trying to hear you, and my phone was being like a weird. Could you repeat that one more time for me? Because it sounded like you were underwater for some reason.
Telling on Kurtz for killing that girl, was one thing. His drug connections and this and that, whether he does or doesn't have them, is another. That's something I'd rather not speak about.
Okay, I can respect that. So when you were around Kurtz, you didn't have very many interactions with him. If you had to describe like the kind of vibe that you got from him and things of that nature, can you like talk to us
Well,
about
yeah.
how you felt around him, like things like that?
Before we left the trailer there in Kentland, I didn't get a bad vibe off him at all. He just seemed like, a country boy, like to get
Hmm.
high, and he didn't seem like a bad dude at all. Like
Right.
I said, I didn't know him but for maybe, half hour, but he didn't give me a bad vibe at all at that time.
And you said that he was very loving with Nicole prior to this.
Do what one more time? I'm sorry, I was reading a comment.
I'm sorry. You said he was very loving with Nicole prior to this.
When I got back there with Talitha, yeah, he was hugging on her, kissing on her. They were very friendly.
And
She's
this
real quiet, girl, but
was this like this. So this was like your only like interaction you kind of really had with him. You hadn't seen him prior um,
no, I'd
to
never seen
this
him. I'd
to
never
see
seen him
his
prior to that.
interactions with others.
I'd never seen him prior. I'd never seen Nicole prior. And I didn't talk to Nicole until, we got back, and I think I'd passed her a bowl. That's it.
Okay. Um, and you've known Chris Mathis for quite some time, it seems.
Yeah, yep, for a little while.
How did you meet Chris Mathis? Like, how did you guys
I
become
lived in Good
affiliated?
I lived in Goodland, which is a real small town in Newton County. So, there's a group of guys our age that do the same thing, I don't recall exactly how I met him.
Just
You
like
know.
through person, like acquaintances or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah, yep.
Okay. I'm gonna go through here and see what I can find as far as like questions. Um,
Okay.
Deb wants to, it says, Sunny asked Mike if he knows if of any in that group were into passing or receiving child pornography.
No, like I said, only known Kurt for about a half hour. We definitely didn't talk about anything like that. And Jasmine, I couldn't see it. I mean, she's an of-age female that has kids, so I couldn't see
Hmm.
that. Mathis, no, I mean, no, he always had a girl, got kids, He seemed to be a somewhat all right guy, That's why I was surprised Mathis was into this, you know. I
Right.
think I think he was probably forced into it or coerced into it, one of the two. Either way, he didn't do nothing. It wasn't right what he did, but I don't think it was something he intended on doing.
Gotcha. So had you known Jasmine at all for any significant amount of time?
Yeah, I'd known Jasmine for probably a year and a half, but hadn't really hung out with her until like 3 months prior. I'd been hanging out with her a lot for the last 3 months.
Okay. And so like what are the types of things that you guys would do together, like when you hung out?
I mean, honestly, I was an addict. All we
Mhm.
did was get high, and I've always bought and sold cars and worked on cars, so we'd ride around, get high, and go pick up cars and deliver it here, scrap it, or work on this one. And she'd ride along, color, and
Right.
help, and that's it.
So how, like, do you know if Jasmine knew Chris or Garrett or Nicole or Ashley, like if she knew them for any significant amount of time? Was
Oh
this
yeah, Matt.
a relationship that um, had been really deep for a long time, or was this something that they had just kind of picked up, like acquaintances within the drug, usage trade?
Mathis and her were definitely good friends, known each other for way longer than I knew either one of them. Uh, but as far as the rest of them, I don't know.
Okay.
It seemed like Talitha and Kurtz went way back, but I don't know about the rest of them.
Mm, okay. Let's see. Um,
This
I don't
happened.
see.
Oh, go ahead, Mama.
No, you go ahead, Sunny.
No, I was just gonna say, August again says might not have been solved if Mike wasn't in the car with GK. Everything happens for a reason. And again, absolutely true. Um, and again, I can't thank you more than enough for just doing this for me. You know, I know you're not. I know you're like doing it for me, but it's like you're doing it for Nicole. And like you said, you know, you're being a voice, and that's what counts, Mikey. To be honest with you, right? Again, you know, it's like you felt like that you were part of the reason, you know, for her, I guess, being dead. But really, you can't control his actions. Hindsight told you, shit, this is what happened. But then again, you took responsibility, you know, let Ali know exactly what happened. And then again, you know, this again will, you know, over time, thousands of people will be watching this. And, you know, so respect for that, for the fact of, again, speaking and just doing the honorable thing, really. Because Nicole was a person. The girls, the Delphi girls, are people. Ray Hanish is a person that did not deserve to die. So just coming on here today, again, talking about it, talking about what happened, you know, explaining that, hey, look, some people are accusing me of snitching. I'm doing what's morally right with my conscience. And that's exactly what shows me that you do care, because people that have no soul or don't care about other people don't have these conscience to come forward. When you do care, it's because, right? I think you said, like, you know, you don't put your hands on a female, you know, you just don't do these things to kids and females, and it's just wrong, you know. So I wish more other people were speaking up. So I thank you so much anyway.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mama.
And
Oh, go ahead.
I tried to reach out to Nicole's family afterwards. I mean, if they ever need anything of any kind, you know, let me know. You know, anything. I feel so responsible for it. I mean, you know, I'm guilty, not responsible. You know, if they ever need anything whatsoever, you know, if you can reach out to them, tell them.
So you're saying that you did try to reach out to them?
Yeah, I didn't know their names. The only thing I knew was Bowen, and the only Bowen I could pull up was Sam Bowen and Sam Junior Bowen. You
You
know,
know, absolutely. I can put you Shar. I talked to Shar here and there. Shar is Ray Hanish's brother, and Cheryl, it's not the same last name. Cheryl is Nicole Bowen's mom. So I can definitely put that in your messenger. You know, to add her and pass that on to Shar. So I can definitely connect, because you know what? Maybe that would just give you both a little bit more healing, you know, just a little bit more. If not for yourself, but right. So if you do, I'll definitely put you in contact with Nicole Bowen's mom.
I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, absolutely. Like Shar has been on here, you know, again for Ray Hanish, and what can we say? What a sick, twisted group of people, you know.
Yeah, agreed.
Mama, what do you got to say there? Anything?
I'm sorry, I was catching Richard up. He was asking about like who this guy is and
Okay.
like all that stuff. So I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry.
Yeah, to most of the people involved with Delphi and the Ray Hanish and with Nicole Bowen, Mikey, your name is not a name that comes up. So it's not like anyone actually, like, so besides maybe in the world that you know or are affiliated with, definitely out here in the true crime world, your name is really not connected. And it's only because of that article, really, that it is there. And even I overlooked it. I was too busy looking at Palladino and Kurtz and Talitha. I was too busy thinking about those people. And I had the 5 pictures in my head of Talitha, Jasmine, you know, Chris Mathis and all that, that right up until today is like, oh, Mikey Hittle? Well, they spelled it wrong. They said Mickey, but it was like, or Mikey Hittle. And I'm like, what? Oh, wait, what? So it's kind of like when I speak of Garrett Kurtz, and there's a person named CJ, I think Dickerson, that it's like, you know how when you do a Facebook and then if it's a person, they'll attach their name blue and you can click on their Facebook because it, you know, it basically attach them or whatever. But CJ Dickerson, out of all the names, that one never sticks out, kind of like yours, because it's that one name that I don't really hear about, but I hear about Pope Joy, Austin Pope Joy, Garrett Kurtz. So one of the things that you might, again, you'll watch Open Secret stuff, and then we can even have another talk if you like about it, because then you'll have more understanding. Mama dropped for a sec there. Is that Keegan Kline? So you've seen about Keegan Kline, correct?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, Keegan Kline. So basically, before Christmas, the Ellie dropped the Keegan Kline, the Anthony Shots account. Now, this is to do with the Delphi murders. So Keegan Kline, kind of like the Chadwell guy, was arrested in, I think, 2019 or 2020. Mama,
What?
was Keegan Kline arrested in 2020?
Yes, 2020.
2020, yeah. So for porn, like for having porn, and it's a whole big thing. But anyways, so this Keegan Kline, have you heard about him on the news to do with the Delphi?
No, not a lot. I haven't watched a lot of it.
He's Keegan. I'll put his picture up there. So it's kind of like, oh my God, there's just so much to this whole this Delphi one can go on and on and on, I swear to God. And so I'll just quickly show you on here. Okay, so you see that dude right there, obviously. So that's Keegan Kline. Over here is his dad, Jerry Anthony Kline. Now, this guy, Keegan Kline, created a fictitious account using an Anthony Shots name. Now, the picture that he used, if I can see it, see this guy right here?
No, I don't see any pictures.
Am I not sharing it?
No.
Oh, I'm sharing it, but you don't see it? I am.
Right.
Okay. Really?
Are you at StreamYard?
Can you
No,
look
what?
at your?
Are you in the program StreamYard, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm on StreamYard, yeah.
Yeah, you should see it like right on your screen. Do you have the chat emblem open?
This is the first time using it.
Comments. Do you have the
Yeah,
option where
I can see
okay?
one comment.
So
I can see one comment at a time.
If you on the top right hand corner, if you press that X, it'll take you back to the main screen so you can look at what we're looking at.
Yeah, there's no X.
Yeah.
At the top of the comments? No.
At the comments, when you hit the comments button, it'll say
I
private chat.
only have one line of comments. There's a picture of Sunny, there's mine, there's your avatar, and then one comment, and then me again.
That's weird because I'm looking at it straight on the screen. Okay, but you're in the chat section.
He just clicked on something and took himself out.
Okay, so then he clicked on the wrong X, but
yeah,
he should be able to come back in and. Whoops. I was trying to help.
I know.
That's what happens to me sometimes, though. Look at
That's the only X I got. That's the only X I got.
Mama, do you want to send me a screenshot of it? Take a quick screenshot, and then I'll put it in his messenger to see if he sees that.
Yeah, because when he had the chat button open, the chat is right next to that red X leave. If you hit on that
red
chat,
X leave. Oh, wait a minute. Click on the chat.
If you were looking at chat, if you were looking at the words that were on the screen with the questions, then when you're in the chat, there's a separate X. It's in white because it says private chat, which would be if we sent a message between the three of us that only us
private chat, and then it says comments, and
then there's an X right there. It would take you back to the main screen.
Okay, I'm gonna press that. I found that. I'm gonna press that X.
Yep, and then you would be able to see. You should see.
I still can't.
You on the left, and then see what's going on. It's okay, no worries. I'll send you a screenshot.
It's all our screens down the left.
Right.
I hate technology.
Yeah, I'm the same. So you can see it now, Mikey?
No, I can see your face. Her
Oh,
avatar, me, and me again. All on
um,
the left side. All on
if
the left
I
side. That's it.
if I
You
do it
know,
this way, can you
if
see
you're
it?
not used to this, if
All I
you
can,
exit
all
out
I
of
can
the
see is
middle
myself
of it,
right now.
it'll kick you out every time on a phone.
Wait,
You have to finagle it very carefully, or it will throw you out.
Yeah, just Messenger make it easier.
Yeah, no, it's no worries. So I just sent Sunny a screenshot that she can send to you.
Mikey, if I do it this way, can you see what's on the screen now?
Right now I don't, but if you send it in Messenger, I can.
Oh no, I just mean I put our avatars down below. Do you see a Keegan
Mm,
Klein or no?
No.
Nothing? Okay.
Nope.
1 second then. I'll do
That's
it
really
this.
strange to me.
Okay, let me quickly go to here. Yes, we'll not remove. We're gonna I'm gonna forward, I guess. Okay, send.
Joey, he wasn't aware of the fact that Garrett was going to kill Nicole. He simply gave Garrett a ride for as a favor to who was it, Letha or Jasmine?
Jasmine.
Jasmine. And then when after he dropped them off, he was there for about 30 minutes before this incident even took place. He left, and when he returned, it had already, like, I guess, gone down. Did you?
Correct.
Okay. And then he didn't know that it had gone down at that point until he saw something on Facebook. And when he realized what happened, he went forward and reached out to law enforcement and gave them the information that he knew. Because Joey said, why did he not try to stop them from killing her? It's because he wasn't any wiser to the
Oh,
fact that that was the plan.
Oh,
if I was there when it happened, I would have most certainly done everything I could have to stop it. You know, uh,
yeah.
I got morals as far as that goes. You don't put your hands on a female. You know, it could be a complete stranger, and I'm gonna stop on the side of the road, get my ass whipped. You know, if I have to, but I'm not gonna let someone put hands on a female in front of me. Ask my family.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. So Joey, I know that you came in late. Again, yeah, he was not there when you watched the whole stream or whatever from the beginning. So basically, some people had called him a snitch and stuff like that, but this became about what was morally right with his heart and his conscience, doing the right thing. So he's actually the one that turned them into Ali once he saw on a Facebook post
Yeah.
about the murders,
You're
about
welcome.
Nicole's murder.
Yeah, you're welcome, Joey. Not a
Yeah.
problem. Um, let's see. I literally was just about to ask a question and I just had a brain fart.
Oh, was it about Keegan Klein or about his phone or
No.
no? Was it about how beautiful I look today?
Well, you look gorgeous every day. I mean,
Go on.
if
Well,
I tell you that every day, it's gonna blow your head up
I
bigger.
know. Yeah.
But,
we do like to tease on here as well. It's
yeah.
not all serious stuff.
Good deal.
So, okay.
Yeah. We need to have a little thing like vape, swear, and a coffee or something, or a drink. Vape, swear,
Good
and
deal.
Right.
I can dig
So
it.
yeah.
when you met Nicole,
Hmm.
and you had interactions with her, can you kind of describe to us what kind of vibe you got off Nicole? Like what kind of person that she struck you as? I know you didn't know her like
Yeah.
intently.
I didn't get to talk to her when we were down at the residence we ran into her at, but I was there, you know, when me and Talitha got there, only for a short time. But she was real calm, quiet, polite, very pretty, uh, and seemed to be really into Garrett. And you know, he was showing that he was as well. You know,
Right,
so when I left there, I thought everything was good. You know,
right.
Do you
he
know?
was,
Do you know why they broke up?
I don't know.
No. Okay. I mean, go ahead, Mama.
Did you hear that Garrett and Nicole had been engaged at all?
No, only time we talked was on the way there, and he never mentioned that. He said they were pretty serious. That the kids called him dad for a while, and Shit, I just lost my train of thought now.
No, you're fine.
Oh, and something about then went on about something to do with the snitching or whatever, and that car was his, and yeah.
Right. So how did the whole conversation transition from kind of the seriousness of him and Nicole's relationship to when he had made the comment to you that, the hardest thing to get over was the sound of choking someone?
When he started talking about her, uh, you know, how they dated, how she snitched on him, and it progressed to how he wanted to kill her, and he suggested him being in the back seat, she get in the front, and he'd choke her out. But she wasn't there when we got there, for one. Number two, I said, that shit ain't happening in my car. You ain't doing something like that,
Right.
And this whole time, I thought he was blowing smoke, And we go to leave, and coincidentally, she's pulling in. I never did hear if something was prearranged with her and somebody to be there or not, but I mean,
Right.
quite a coincidence.
Garrett Kurt's comment was everyone knew what was going to happen there that night. And
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that Jasmine knew either.
no.
When I left there, no, not from her vibe at all. She wouldn't put me into something like that,
Yeah. Mama, I'm just going to. Oh, go ahead.
If
Go
she
ahead, Mike.
if she wanted me to do something crazy or illegal, she would say it first. Not to say we ain't done some crazy or illegal shit together, or we have. I'm not saying that either way, but she wouldn't blindly lead me into something like that at all.
Yeah,
I don't think she
Jasmine
knew.
Parker. Yeah.
I don't think she knew what was happening.
Well, I was going to say, it was kind of like, I wasn't sure really how to take that. Do I take it as everyone knew that there was going to be a fight, or if everyone knew that Nicole?
I don't know how everyone knew anything, because when we went there, like I said, she wasn't there, and as far as I knew, she wasn't supposed to be there. So how could everyone known?
Right.
And I don't think it was intended for Talitha to tag along neither. So I don't believe that she would have known anything either. I don't know what part she had in the end or whatever. I don't have a clue. I never heard nothing about her case.
I was going to say, in a second, I'm going to open up something, and is this what I want to see? Okay. Yeah, in a second here, if you don't mind, or if you don't mind now, I'm just going to read you a couple pages of something from Ashley Garth's appeal.
Okay.
Would that be okay? Okay.
That's fine.
I'll put it back up on StreamYard. Okay. Actually, did you figure out from what I sent you? Did you figure out how to see?
No.
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 Okay. Did you even look at it yet or no?
At the pictures, yeah, I seen those on Messenger.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll have to figure that one out. But right now, I mean, you don't need to see it, but I will put it up for the other people that are watching. Just Ashley Garth versus the state of Indiana. Okay. So let me just see here. Okay, good enough. Okay, so what this says is, so Ashley Garth appeals her convictions for murder and conspiracy to commit murder. She asserts that the trial court committed reversible error by making certain evidentiary rulings and by denying motion for mistrial. She also asserts that her convictions are unsupported by sufficient evidence and violate Indiana's prohibition against double jeopardy. I'll get to the main part in a sec besides these little words. We conclude that the trial court did not abuse its discretion in its evidentiary and mistrial rulings, and that her convictions are supported by sufficient evidence and do not violate double jeopardy. Therefore, we affirm. In March 2019, Garth was in an intimate relationship with Garrett Kurtz. Kurtz has also been in a intimate relationship with Nicole Bowen for a few months. Over the course of 2 months, Garth, Kurtz, and Kurt's friend Jason Palladino had a couple of conversations about getting rid of Bowen. On March 29th, 2019, Kurtz, Bowen, and Talitha Beckley were at Palladino's house. Palladino told Kurtz that they had to make a decision that Bowen has to go, and that it's got to be done. At that point, Kurtz drove Bowen and Beckley in Bowen's car to the trailer in Kentland where Garth was. Once at the trailer, Bowen and
Wait,
Kurtz.
said he drove who?
Let's see here. It says at that point, Kurtz drove Bowen and Beckley in Bowen's
Beckley
car.
No, that's not correct. Talitha was with me.
Correct. Well, this is Ashley's version.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So go ahead. So let me go by that. So it says on March 29th. Oh, wait. This is on. Let me just make sure that we're talking about the right day here. At that point.
Go ahead.
Yeah. That's what they're talking about. At that point, Kurtz drove Bowen and Beckley in Bowen's car to the trailer in Kentland where Garth was. And you're saying, no, that's not true.
That's not true. No, Talitha rode with me.
Okay.
And we stopped by my apartment in Francisville. I don't know how long, not very long. We were under the assumption that Garrett was following us the whole time. He didn't show up. I would say probably an hour. He didn't show up, so we headed on to Kentland.
So, okay. And then it says, once at the trailer, Bowen and Kurtz sat on the couch and used methamphetamine. Garth,
Correct.
okay, Garth came out of the bedroom, and I think this is kind of what you were talking about, where Kurtz and Bowen are on the couch, but Garth was in the bedroom, because you said something about not seeing her, so maybe perhaps.
Correct. That's
okay,
what I would assume too. That's what I would assume too.
Yeah, so it says Garth came out of the bedroom and exchanged words with Bowen. Okay, so maybe you didn't see this part. Exchanged words with Bowen, which escalated into a fist fight. Kurtz stood up, wrapped Bowen into a chokehold from behind until she collapsed. Kurtz yelled at Garth to hand him an extension. This is Ashley's version. Kurtz yelled at Garth to hand him an extension cord, which she did. Kurtz tied the cord around Bowen's neck and handed it to Garth. Garth pulled on it so tight that the extension cord broke. Garth helped Kurtz lift up the couch, and Kurtz tied the extension cord under it. Kurtz also then tied a scarf around Bowen's neck. Kurtz got a roll of tape, trash bags, and taped Bowen up in a trash bag. Kurtz took the body to Bowen's car, drove the car. So is that part true? Do you know Kurtz took the body to Bowen's car? Do you know if that part's true?
That was the only car there, yeah. And
Okay.
and also in that recording I asked him, because we were talking about trading cars. He said he needed a car. I was gonna trade him for the Scion. I was like, hey, is there any DNA in it? You know, you haul her in it? He was like, no, I used tarps and she was in the trunk. So I know that's what car they were in.
Okay. And so let's see here. And then it says, so Kurtz took the body to Bowen's car, drove the car to pick up a friend, and so that would be Chris Mathis. And continued to drive around with his friend looking for a spot to dispose of Bowen's body. They saw an empty semi-trailer and placed the body inside. They then returned to the trailer and got high with Garth. Oh, isn't that nice? On March 30th, 2019, the owner of the property on which the semi-trailer was located visited his property. He saw the body inside the semi-trailer and called 911. And then it says, police discovered Bowen's body wrapped in a blanket and secured with different types of tape. When the police removed the blanket the following day, they found a plastic bag over Bowen's head, her wrists taped together behind her back, and a scarf tied around her neck. Under the scarf was an electrical cord that was tied around her neck. After the electrical cord was removed, ligature marks on Bowen's neck were visible. An autopsy indicated that the cause of death was neck compression and ligature strangulation, which is the same for Ray Hanish. And obviously, DNA testing indicated strong support for the proposition that Garth was a contributor to the DNA profile found on the cardboard tube discovered with Bowen's body, and very strong for the proposition that Garth was a contributor to the DNA on Bowen's fingernail scrapings and limited support that Garth was a contributor to the DNA found on the scarf tied around because mostly probably Garrett's. So this again, I can. I'm not sure. I can put it into the chat. This is on. If you wish to read this, to be honest, Mikey, I can easily paste it into your messenger. Is it something you'd
Okay.
like to look at?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just see if it takes you there.
Yep, I got it.
If you okay. If not, if it doesn't take you there, it's simply Indiana free court records. I mean, let me know later if it takes you there.
Okay.
Because it takes to the PDF file that I'm looking at here. That one does. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I did have a question real quick though.
yeah, absolutely.
When you talked about the exchange of vehicles, when Garrett was trying to do the exchange of the vehicle for Nicole's vehicle or whatever,
Right.
had you brought that up to him, or was this something that he was like, hey, you deal with getting rid of cars, do you maybe want to do a trade on this car? Like was he
Well,
actively trying to get rid of Nicole's car? Or did you broach the subject?
I believe he had hit me up when I was on my way over to talk to the detective, and that's when I had recorded the first little bit, and then in front of them, he was like, get him to meet us at where'd they say first? I think they said Rick's Pizza first, and then they moved it somewhere else, and then they finally said the old grandma's parking lot off 65. So I had him meet what was supposed to be me there, and this one.
Right. So they did a sting on him.
Yeah, I guess.
So okay. So how many days was it before you saw the Facebook post, and then like in between from when Nicole was killed to seeing this
Honestly,
Facebook to reaching out to Ellie?
honestly, I was on that shit, and I was on that shit hard. I couldn't tell you how many days,
Was it?
I couldn't tell
Well, did it seem quickly that this
you. It seemed
started
quick.
surfacing on Facebook after
No,
Nicole was killed, or was
no,
there? How long of a period of a time was it? I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
I understand, but it seems like it was quick. But when you've been up for days and days, sometimes your days drag together. I was in a
Right.
bad road. I couldn't tell you.
I got you. I got you.
I'm ashamed of it now. I'm a different man, but that's what it was then.
There's no reason to be ashamed because everybody has something that is in their
My mom
closet.
was in prison.
I was in prison. I did time at Rockville and I did time at Madison.
I'm not ashamed for the time I spent in jail or the prison biz I've done. I'm ashamed of the shit I did when I was on the streets. Not shit that got me in jail.
I got you, and I'm not ashamed to say that at one point, I had a drug addiction. I know that these things can be very, very, it's life changing because the way that you are when you have used drugs is a completely different person. What?
When you said it, yeah.
Yeah. But you don't have to be ashamed of that particular thing because you're not the same person and you can learn and grow from your experiences. You don't have to let that loom over you because it's not your past doesn't define you. It's your actions and your choices that you choose to move forward for your future. You take that knowledge and you put it in the bank and you say, okay, listen, I don't have to get down on myself. If you can look in the mirror every single day and you can say, you know what, I'm happy and with the person that I am today and I love and care for myself, then I think that that's the most important thing. Yeah, you've had some slips and some ups and downs. Everybody has, but you don't let that one thing define you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I know. My heart. I'm a total deep empath, Mikey. So it's like if I feel your pain from your hurt that you're feeling because of the guilt, it's like I take it on myself. And it's like I just want to hug someone and say, you know what? Like everything happens for a reason. It is what it is. You know, don't hold yourself hostage or accountable for something that when you couldn't control, like you think you could have, right? Like, oh, but the thing is that most people say so many different things like, oh, I'm going to kill myself, oh, you know, type of thing. That's a very normal statement out of a lot of people's mouths when they're in depression or on drugs or different things, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't control. You think that you could have stopped it, but it was meant to play out the way it was meant to play out. But as an empath, for me, I'm just like, it's like you've done the right thing, you know. Hey, you need to stop messaging me here, Porky. I gotta mute your notifications. 1 second here. Sorry, just a mute. So I don't think people realize when I say I'm in a live, and then the notifications still go off on the messenger, and it's irritating. So anyways, I had to mute it. Sorry, Porky. Love you. Porky's the one, we call her Pork Chop. She's the one that actually found. Remember the cryptic note that I showed you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so she's the one that offered to help me kind of look at some things originally. And I was just like, yeah, could you go check out the Paladinos for me? Because I was too busy looking at Keegan Dunker's markings on his face for like 6-7 months. And I was all obsessed with trying to make out everything that the BG was wearing and had on and stuff like that. But anyways, and then she came back with that note that I showed you, the crypto. So before I even talk about any of that on there, I just want you to know that, like I said, you know, just, you know what, whatever. I know you know this, but just commend yourself for what you've done to make a wrong a right, because you still couldn't have changed. You think you could have, but Kurtz was going to find his way there anyway. There was already, from what I just read you, okay, from what I just read you, Mikey, from Ashley's thing, they've been talking about it for months, about getting rid of her. So just because it happened to be you that day that drove, you know, and he said things, doesn't mean that it wasn't going to happen, say, to another person, you know. Now, so you can look at it one of two ways, that it was you, it did happen, but you in turn made a wrong a right. The person that might have drove him might not have made that right, you know, that wrong or right, and it could have gone a different way, but it didn't, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's easy to look at it in a negative light because you're being hard on yourself, and I get it, but it also can be looked at a very positive light, because if it would have happened with somebody else, because it would have happened, she would have ended up dead at some point.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I do have to question, when Garrett was talking to you about this, did he, like, what was his demeanor like when he was talking about the snitching and hurting her and things of that nature? Like, was he angry? Was he sad? Was he like a roller coaster? Like,
No, he wasn't real. He was real calm and collective about it. You know, that's why I figured he's blowing smoke.
oh,
You
so he was
know,
like a Kemper, like,
I
you
don't know
know,
what that means.
the serial killer.
Mm,
Like, he was
no.
very like Ed Kemper when like they did they interviewed him in prison about all of the different, you know, crimes that he had committed and like his background and stuff. And like when he would answer law enforcement, he was just so like calm and blasé and just very like, oh yeah, I mean, this is what happened. And you know what I'm saying? So that's what he was like. Like he was just like carefree and calm and talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
He was, I'm sorry, I was laughing at the comment at the same time.
Which one? Which one?
From Aspen 713.
Oh, that's Adam. Yeah.
But what was I saying? Oh yeah, he was calm and collective. You know, he wasn't all hype about it. You know, he wasn't, you know, real pissed off about it. It seemed like, you know, it just seemed like something he brought up in the, you know, in the passing to people. You know, I don't know what kind of person does that, but you know, that's how he seemed about it.
oh, that just gave
Yeah,
me chills. Like I literally just got like, ugh, I got the heebie-jeebies there. That's
just very, you know, I don't know.
Worry about them quiet ones.
Lord. So yeah. So he was just very like calm and collective about it. Now you said that you feel like maybe he had heard someone prior to this as well. You got that
Yeah,
kind of a vibe about
I
him.
did. I did, especially when he was talking about how how the worst thing is the hearing someone, you know. He either thought about it a lot or had done it, you know.
Right. And he didn't go like try to go into detail and tell you like the noise or nothing like that, right? Because that would be just ugh,
No, he didn't try to explain the
no.
noise.
Thank
I,
you.
I don't recall. I could have swore he said that it was the dude was a lawyer or something, and that it was a child molester. That something like that had happened to him. He didn't say he did it, but that's the way I think he was trying to, you know.
Yeah. I mean, he could have been lying, or he could have been talking about somebody else that he did it to.
Okay, I'm sorry. Could you, all right. So when you talk about that, can you re-clarify the exact words that were said? Because when I was trying to listen to you initially, um, I really couldn't hear you very well because my husband was like laying next to me and he was asleep and snoring, and it's okay, but like I didn't hear exactly like the exact words he told you regarding that. Could you repeat that one for me, please? Like when he talked about killing somebody else and things of that nature.
Yeah, he didn't directly say he'd kill someone, but he had implied it.
Okay.
That it was a child molester and that he was an attorney. I could have swore he's an attorney. But
You know
He's
what?
an attorney. So, I mean, do you think about, okay, so Sonny,
I mean,
Go ahead, Mama.
Sonny, what strikes you when he says that? Like when he talks about an attorney and the
I
child?
Oh,
totally agree with Joey Lowell's comment there. Yeah.
what did he say? He says, none of that would have happened had that they all not been on meth. Right. This drug destroys everybody it touches. Absolutely. So just to go back to that, so yes, Ray Hanish died 2 weeks prior, but in the mix of things, Mikey, you'll come to find out, and this is where I was talking about Judge Fouts. There's prosecutors, okay? There's attorneys, there's mayors, there's other people that are involved in this whole sex trafficking thing. So it wouldn't shock me if this was relating to another person, because this circle to me is a lot bigger, like with the Delphi and the whole pedo and the sex trafficking. Like, so it wouldn't shock me if this could potentially be a different person as well. That he,
Agreed.
yeah, just because what you're saying there would equate to exactly everything that's coming out of this whole thing is this that people in their white collars and the little peons, or type of idea that you know how it is, the people with the money, right? And
Yep.
yeah, exactly. And that's what it always boils down to. It'll boil down to money, drugs, power, control. Simple as that. And again, so this could be possible that this is another person that he speaks of, or maybe it's Ray, but Ray was a nurse, and this is a very potential, because it wouldn't shock me if he's done this even previously, and it wouldn't shock me if he was involved with Delphi murders by everything that's been said.
Well, it leads me to wonder, and this is all I'm saying, it leads me to wonder if he hadn't murdered somebody who was said attorney, was that something that he was planning to do? You know what I mean? That's the only thing that like strikes me, is he didn't say that he had done it, but is this something that he could like, the connection between Delphi and things of that nature, could that have been his target, knowing what we know about that judge, that was no longer a judge, but now an attorney, and in all of that? That's all I was saying to myself.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if I'm still on here.
Hey,
Yeah, you're still here.
yeah,
Okay.
you're so good.
Well, I just got a message that says relog in. I just relogged in.
Oh, well, no, you're still here on there.
Okay.
Can we just confirm, because somebody asked us, and I think it's share, but I don't believe that this is the share. I don't believe that that's the share, is it? That's Ray Hanish's. Oh, let's see. Are you here?
You're
You're here,
I'm
but
echoing.
you turned off your camera.
Oh God. It's loading.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
No, not yet. I see a big M. Oh, wait, hold on. I think you're coming. There you are. So let me get rid of this one. Kick. Okay, there you are again. I want to confirm something, and
Yeah.
I don't know if this is Cher, if this is Ray Hanish. Yes, it is. Okay, so Cher is in in our chat, and that is Ray Hanish's sister.
Okay.
It's one of those things. Sunny, it is. Okay. Um, can I ask Cher if she wants to join on? If she does, and to ask you anything. This is Ray Hanish's, like I said. So her and Cheryl, Nicole Bowen's mother, have become very close because of the connection for Ray Hanish and Nicole Bowen's murders or whatever.
Okay.
Do you mind if I put it out there, Cher?
That's fine.
Did you want to ask Mikey anything and come on? Do you want me to drop you a link? So she said above, what date was this on? Was it, because she said something like March 28th. What date was this murder on?
I could not tell you. You know, like
Okay.
I said, days run together on that shit, you know,
Okay.
and I didn't stop right after that. You know, I acted a fool for way too long. You know, I'm clean now, but I don't know the dates for nothing. I mean, I
Well,
could look back and only way I could possibly remember something like that is look back in Messenger and see what was going on at that time, you know. And
okay.
I don't know. That's the only way.
Oh, she says that she can't come on tonight. But she, just so you know, she is in there. And Cher, can you do me a favor? Even though I probably can find it in my messenger, Cher, can you? Mikey says that he would like to reach out to Cheryl Nicole Bowen's mom, but he didn't know her last name. Can you put her Facebook link in my messenger for me so I can pass it on to Mikey, and then that way he can you can give Cheryl a heads up and let her know that Mikey is tried to reach out, but he didn't know her actual name, because Bowen obviously is different than Cheryl's last name. Would that be okay, Cher? When I first met Cher, which is Ray Hanish's, uh, I had done a video or whatever, and then so what happened was that I was doing this video, and it was pissing me off, and I had to keep editing it, and so everything that I had in the video, and then Cher gave me shit. And so she gave me shit, and it was so, I don't want to say it was funny, but it was funny for the fact that I had all that stuff in the video, and then, oh, I know what it was. I think the video crashed on me and it lost information, and it meant too much work to go back over it again. And it was like, I mean, the video was really about Delphi, but it was including Ray Hanish. But anyway, so she gave me kind of like a licking. And so then I smoothed it over, and I offered to do a tribute video for Ray Hanish, for the family and for anybody else that watched it.
Good deal.
Okay, so Cher is saying, well, Cher, I think I'm saying Cher now. Cher is Cher. I called her Char. Damn it, I always get this wrong. It's because it's Shar. So Cher, will you let me know in Messenger and just ask? So basically, Cher is saying, I'm not sure that she wants to. Here, I'll put it up. This is what she's saying. But but you know what? That's not out of Cheryl's mouth. So, it's one of those things, right? Correct. I mean, if you reach out and, like I said, and maybe she's looking to put it behind her, then that's the way, again, it's the way the cookie meant to crumble, you know?
Right, but regardless, I'd really appreciate it if she would at least tell me that, you know. But if she needs anything, regardless, you know, I'd love to give her a hand with anything she needs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because, if it's one thing for someone to say it from their own mouth that they don't want to, type of idea. Exactly. And so, that's the most we can ask. And after that, it's one of those things, right?
Yep.
You do, if you reach out and you did your part and the other person doesn't want to reach out back, and justifiably so, perhaps, right? Especially, because that was 2019, that's, what about it's coming up to 3 years now, to be honest with you. The date that they have, Mikey, is March 30th, just so you know, as the date that Nicole was murdered and that she was found the next day. What did Debbie say? So, Mama, did you have anything to say to that?
Nope, not really.
Okay.
I think you said everything there is to say about that.
Okay. Cher, maybe you could just tell her what he wanted to reach out and leave her up. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Joey says, "Hey, Mikey, how long have you been off meth for, and how did you stop, if you don't mind saying?"
Honestly, I was picked up for a battery in Newton County while I was on parole. The battery got dropped, but I still had a parole violation and a hold in Jasper County from a driving while suspended from prior time. So I got incarcerated, and I've been incarcerated before. It never got me clean. But what got me clean is Heartland Recovery Centers in Lowell, Indiana. Great program. I did IOP through them. Now I'm doing OP, and they're taking care of my mental health as well. I mean, it's a great program if you're around Indiana. I don't know if they have them anywhere else, but been to Valley Oaks, it doesn't help. Been to Sycamore Springs, it doesn't help. River Bend doesn't help. But Heartland Recovery Centers, willpower.
Yes, yes. I was gonna say, at the end of the day, nobody can do anything for you unless you do it yourself. And like for me in my real life too, and I'm sure you realize this now, but you have to have a good support system of people. Meaning, in my life, I've always got rid of the negative people that don't bring me up, that try to bring me down. And I try to only keep around me the people that I care about because they care about me and they're trying to uplift me. And, they're not trying to be derogatory. So I will instantly get rid of those people in my life. I'm just a face value person. Get the hell out of my freaking life if that's
That,
what you're.
that that's hard. And in my shoes, that's been hard because I've been
Yeah.
doing that stuff since I was 12. I'm 35,
Yeah.
and I got out of workplace on the 3rd, so I've only been out a couple days, and it's taken some adjusting too because everybody I ran around with is that type of people.
Right.
So I'm adjusting to sitting at
Yeah.
home watching some TV, staying
Yeah.
my ass out of trouble, doing good, see my son,
Yeah.
prosper, get ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, for you and your future, again, right? Only you can change the course of your direction. And yeah, I get it. It's not easy because I get, if you're living a life like when I like this is no comparison to you or your life whatsoever. But when I was in my first relationship, which was 15 to 26, every person I was around, because we used to use the term headbanger back in the day. So the guy that I was dating during high school was a headbanger, and of course that's when I ever first tried acid, mushrooms, weed. Okay, pot, oil. That was it. As far as I went. But everyone that we associated with was like more like the criminals, right? The drug sellers, stuff like that. I didn't like that feeling. I didn't like that part of the thing. So when I left that relationship, I said I am never dating anyone that smokes pot again, this or that or whatever, just because I didn't want to be around that type of lifestyle myself. So like I said, definitely not comparing it to your lifestyle there, but just to
No, but
say,
it's the same circumstance, though. I totally understand what you're saying. I'm in the same boat.
yeah, yeah, because it's not easy, but I had to make that choice for myself. Do I want this or do I want that? And you know what? I'm kind of like a YOLO person. You only live once. You're here for a good time, not a long time, and you definitely don't want to spend your time, behind freaking bars and somebody controlling your life. You know, I'm sure you know that well enough by now that there's no fun in somebody dictating to you, what you can do, can't do, da. So for me, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So piss off all you negative nannies. Same thing in the chat here. When the negative people come along and want to troll, fuck off. Have a good night. Don't bug me type of idea, because I just don't have that time to waste on stuff like that. So you said only a couple of days, right? So you said you're on work release and you just got off of it a couple of days ago.
Yep.
So, and you said you had a son
Yep.
and a wife. Is it a wife or a girlfriend?
I have an
Fiance?
ex-wife I lost because of meth, I mean, meth has done a lot bad for me, but I lost my wife and son.
I think we've seen that same, with, well, obviously with Chris Mathis, same idea. I believe he has, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say 3 or 4 kids,
Coincidentally, the correction officer at the work release is one of his baby moms.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How did they meet then? Through that?
I don't know, but I didn't even know it until like my last 2 weeks there, and she brought it up.
Yeah. Okay. So, you guys, if anyone has any last questions, I don't want to keep Mikey any longer. He's already, let's see, we're in 2 hours and 20 minutes into the live. If there's any more questions to ask Mikey or Mama or Mikey, as well as you, like if you guys have any final thoughts, and then I'll look to the chat to see if anyone else has any questions for Mikey. But just know that my final thoughts for sure will be, I appreciate you. And I thank you so much for doing this for me and for
Thank you. I
doing it
appreciate
for
that.
Nicole.
I
Yeah.
got what's his goals?
What's that?
Oh, I'm on speaker?
Yeah, you're on speaker. Because I was,
Is that your husband?
yeah. He, my husband wanted to ask what are some of your goals for your future?
Good
For,
question.
for the first time, I'm employed at a taxable, legal job. Not saying that I never had legal jobs before, but I've always had under the table jobs. But
Right.
I'm working a full-time job. My biggest goal is to own my own home, because I had a very unstable, grow up, and have a good relationship with my family and stay clean. I fucked up a lot of stuff on that meth, man.
Yeah. And those are amazing goals for yourself. And I hope that you are able to accomplish each and everything that you're looking to accomplish, if not more.
Can I talk to him?
No. Why do you want to talk to him?
I just want to give him counsel.
Oh, oh wait. As they're talking, I'm going to go to this. Sorry if you already answered this, but does he think Nicole knew anything about the Delphi murders? Karina Livid is another follower in here, and you can answer that if you want again for Karina. But
I couldn't assume what Nicole knew. I didn't talk to her, maybe 4 or 5 words, and they were nothing good. They were passing it to me. So I don't know. But from the few minutes I seen her, she didn't come off as the type of person, I mean, she was calm, polite, pretty,
yeah,
she didn't seem like the type of person I'd know about something like that, but I don't know. I'm not gonna say either way.
okay. As for Cher, she just, and if you could answer this for Cher, this is Ray Hanish's sister. She just says, I just want to know if Mikey knows anything about Ray's murder. So if you could just quickly go over what you have said to us, what you do know or don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I wish I did. I wish I could help.
Yeah. And if you could just, well, I don't even know that you want to say it, but go, I mean, basically Cher, Mikey has said that Garrett made a comment about, actually, how did he say it?
He'd made a comment about the hardest thing about strangling someone is the sound they made. I mean, that's.
But the thing was, is that he was trying to associate that more with the lawyer, prosecutor, or something like
I
that.
could have sworn. I'm not positive he said a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure. But he definitely said they had something to do with child molestation or something like that.
Child molestation, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I know, like I said, for me, for Cher, for Nicole Bowen's mom, Cheryl, for Nicole, Ray, just again, like I said, being an empath and whatever, it's so hard because it's like, I know that I don't think Cher agrees with me on this, but I really feel like the Delphi and Ray Hanish and Nicole Bowens are interconnected, especially between Garrett Kurtz and Ashley Garth. Go ahead.
That group anyway,
Yeah, exactly. Peace Not Silent, another great person, beautiful heart, says, Mike, you want new people in your life with positive vibes. Just come hang out. We're here. No one judges. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I
I
appreciate
appreciate that.
it. And I say this with the most love from my heart. If there's a time that you just kind of want to come on and shoot the shit with us, I'm not even kidding, or that you have more to say, that you maybe forgot to say something, honestly, the invitation, truthfully from my heart, is there. Because we're here to keep awareness. Okay, that's our goal here, to be a voice for the voiceless. So like, let's perhaps say at another time you do, or perhaps when it's Nicole's anniversary, and I do a special, and you want to come on, and because some people will see this and some people won't, right?
Right. And
And that,
if you ever get anybody or anything, any other questions, you're free to message me and I'll come back on as well.
yeah,
Anytime you request.
go ahead, Mama.
I do have another question that Aspen had sent. And he said, did anybody ask you about the whole idea of meth being commonly done in the bridge, but you aren't really like knowledgeable about the whole Delphi thing or anything like that?
No, I don't know that area at all. So I don't know what goes on over there,
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to make sure that the questions too that I asked, that Deb had asked me to answer. Okay, let me just quickly look here. So she would just say, I'd love to know the true reason that Nicole was killed. And we talked about that. That was the two reasons, but the one being about snitching on them cooking and selling. Was it cooking or selling, or both?
I thought it was cooking.
Yeah, I think so too. And the other one was, you said that Nicole, something about cocaine, and he threw it at Nicole or something like that.
It was in his possession. They got pulled over and he threw it at her, and she wrote a statement once she got to the station saying it was his.
Yeah. Okay. And then she had also asked, go ahead.
Which I wouldn't say snitching anyway. He threw his dope at her.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's see. Was Nicole or Ashley there when Ray was killed? Okay, he doesn't know that. Has he ever heard of Ashley or seen the video of Delphi's? We've gone over that. He does not. He doesn't know anything about Tony Klein or Anthony Klein. I know we were talking about that a bit, and it's one of those things. What I was going to say about that before, Mikey, was that so one of Garrett Kurt's good friends is Austin Popejoy. So Keegan Klein, who's again another piece of shit that's in jail right now, and he will be having, for having basically pedo pictures, right? So anyways, so he's in jail right now for that. But so Keegan Klein shared a Facebook post about the Delphi murders from Austin Popejoy. So knowing that Austin Popejoy and Garrett Kurtz are good friends, it's very likely that Garrett Kurtz knew of or who Keegan Klein was. Just like I'm sure Chadwell knows who Keegan Klein is. So meaning, as I look for different attachments, or people send me, like Jenny's of the world and Debs and Mama, as they send me different information as well. Like, it's about finding the attachments to each other. So it just seems, of course, kind of like the girls on Ron Logan's Land and Garrett Kurtz. Well, Garrett Kurtz knows Austin Popejoy, or however you say it, and Keegan Klein, this scumbag that's in jail right now, knows Austin Popejoy enough to share the Delphi murders, meaning, so it really brings it closer together, in this big circle of pieces of trash, to be honest with you. It's like Judge Fouts, right? As we were talking, piece of shit. You're a freaking judge. You're sitting there feeling up some escort on camera. You don't know that you're being recorded. You're married, you freaking douchebag, and he's all part of that. Like I said, the boys club thing or whatever. So, anyways, it's just disgusting. And not only that, but the mistress, the ex-mistress of Judge Fouts, again, not his wife, and his wife happens to be a Karen. Her name is actually Karen. And I just find that comical because of, Karen. But anyway, I've never said her name publicly. So if anyone knows who she is, then that's fine. But I've never said her name publicly. But like the shit that, like, basically she was about 11 years old when she was at a fair, and then he basically seen that she was alone. But I'm not here to tell her story. I told her if she ever wants to come on and tell her story, she can tell her story. Other than that, the information more sits with me. But let me just say this, very sick, twisted shit. And that's why she was wise enough, smart enough to dissolve that relationship once she realized, right? And again, possible connections there with the Delphi, those dates to the judge, etc. That will all come out in the wash with FBI and all that stuff when we might be shocked, oops. So anyways, it's just, oh my God, there's a dog outside barking. Shut up, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's a new neighbor that obviously moved in. And then she had asked, has he heard of any connections to Delphi? Just to go over this one more time, just in your own thoughts, have you talked with people about Delphi, had discussions about what you think it was about? The reason that they were murdered, like why were they murdered that
Not
day?
to any depth. Not to any depth. Only time I've had conversations about it is when we see it on the news or something.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm not from that area. I don't know what kind of motive you have for killing two little girls. I mean, even criminals. There's a code. Someone like that gets to prison. There's still a code in there for people like that. There's no justifiable reason to have done that. So,
Well,
I don't know why. I don't know why. Go ahead.
I was going to say, from what I've heard, or maybe you can give me your thoughts on this. So it's been 5 years. Okay, dog, I swear to God, I'll hurt you myself. I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud on TV or live? Sorry. I love animals. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, come on, do not do it while I'm doing the live. And I can't shut the window because it has an air conditioner in it. So, so my question, what was my question actually now? Okay, then. Shit. Oh, shit. What was that? Shit. It literally just went boom. Wait. Okay, hold on. Hold on. What was I even saying? Anyone help me? What was I even saying, Mikey? What were we just talking about prior to that?
It's talking about the Delphi and how I thought there was no justifiable reason to have done that. I think you were getting on to the question of why do you think it happened or something like that.
Yeah. God, I want to hurt myself right now. But okay. Ugh, whatever. It will come back to me, I hope.
Oh no.
Damn dog on there. What, Mama?
I know the dog got me through. I was like, squirrel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. And it was right there. And all of a sudden my brain panicked and I'm like, oh my God, what was I talking about? But yeah, okay. Anyways, regardless. God, it was a good question too. Shit sakes.
It'll come back to you. It'll come back to you. And I have a real quick question. For the length of time, because you've known Chris Mathis for some length of time. From what you do know of him, with your interactions, would you say that Chris Mathis could be somebody that is believable? What he's if he says something that he's truthful, or somebody that could be.
I wouldn't say truthful or trustful, but I wouldn't say dangerous neither. I wouldn't have said he knew. I wouldn't say he knew anything about what he was going to do. I would most likely say he was intimidating doing it, or yeah, that's what I would say.
Just happened to be there at the time.
He happened to be around at the time he got called. That's the way I took it, and was intimidated is what I assume. Chris ain't no friend of mine. He used to be. He definitely ain't no more, so I'm not trying to stick up for him. But I don't see him willingly having jumped in on something like that.
So what broke that friendship down?
That.
that day.
That, I mean, we haven't talked since, you know, but he's got to be salty, you know. He believes in the code more. You know, he believes in the code. He wouldn't tell on Kurt, you know. He don't think. I'm sure he don't think it's right that I did, but I do, you know. So we haven't talked since then.
Thank you for reminding me. Thank you so much, Cher. Yeah, thank you so much, Cher. And again, justice for Ray Hanish. Okay, guys, as well. And maybe we can have Cher on again soon, whenever she wants to. So my question to you now that I think about it was going to be, okay, it's been 5 years, and let's just say it's more than one person. Why is no one speaking up? Why is no one talking? Or do you think that they are? Like, okay, so obviously, if someone gets charged for these murders, they're looking at the death penalty. And
I hope so.
right. And so basically, if Garrett and that knows what happens in prison, from what I've heard them say, that basically your life is gone, pretty much gone. If you is this true? Obviously, that if you're found out that you did something, like, I don't know prison, but I just, from what they're saying, basically, like he does.
Oh, as far as the crime they committed, they're fucked.
Yeah. So what would happen
Yeah.
in prison
Oh, they would have they would get in no clicks. They would fuck with nobody would fuck with them. They would probably be shanked or locked real quick.
Correct.
And rightfully so, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. So,
you know, there's a lot of people talk down on people in prison, but you know, there's a lot of stand-up motherfuckers in prison that did things that they probably deserve to be locked up for. But there's a lot worse people out there, and they handle them worse people in there. You know.
Yeah.
Like I had a hard time at the end because of this case.
Sorry, say that again.
I had a hard time at the end because of this. You know, because people know about this, because I don't hide it, because I don't deny it. You know,
Gotcha.
I'm not affiliated. I know a lot of people that are, and I don't deny this haven't happened at all. You know, if you're fucked up about it, you're fucked up.
At any
Sorry about
point,
the language.
go ahead.
I just said sorry about the language.
No, don't. We don't care about that. At any point, like, have you been afraid that something might happen to you for speaking out, or no?
I got some concerns about it. You know, I do.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of what's going to happen to me, that girl had kids. You know, that girl had kids, and she was young. You know, I mean, and the way he treated her right before, you know, that's
I know.
fucked up.
I can see that bothers you.
How are you gonna hug and kiss on someone and do that to them?
Yeah. I can so see that bugs you, right? Because here you are, like I said, here, hug, oh, dead. You know, kill them. Just, who does that shit, right? Because it's just, right. I mean, you know, it's not like he came in there raging and then whatever. It's like, you know, hey, because, oh, you know, and then turn around and freaking, next thing you know, she's dead that day.
I have a question.
Sure.
Like we're talking about the code in prison, you know, if we find out in prison that he killed this girl, you know, tortured and killed this girl, he's gonna be frowned upon, you know, not as bad as if it's a kid, but he'll be frowned upon. But if he says that the girl snitched on him, it'll be a whole different story. He'll get smacks on the back and shit, you know, which still I don't think is right, you know, but it'll happen. Has it ever been determined if she ever did or didn't tell on him? Which, like I said, you know, don't make it no right or either which way. But I was just curious.
No, sorry. Who? Say that again. Like, what are you referring to?
Kurt says it's all over some snitch shit that Nicole snitched on, right? Him and Palladino.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what he claims. Did that ever really happen? Because, like I said, in prison he'll be looked down on for killing her if she didn't do that. But if she did that, he'll get smacks on the back and shit, which I don't think he deserves. He deserves shanks in the back. But I was just curious if it ever did happen, if that was all just a lie he told, or if she ever did snitch on him, or what. I was just curious.
The only thing I heard was actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mama, the only thing I personally heard was that it was Ashley that was throwing him underneath the bus for Delphi.
Right, but I'm saying that he supposedly wanted to kill Nicole for previous drug deal he snitched on.
Yeah, because it was Ashley that was trying to throw him under the bus for Delphi. But then I think about, like, when Chris Mathis did that interview with Open Secrets, you know, the comment that struck me um, was when he talked about how he wished Garrett Kurtz would come clean about Delphi. You know, it would take some skin off his back, you know. That right there, the fact that Ashley had tried to come forward and then he throws that in on his open secrets interview, it just makes me wonder if at some point he may be willing to attempt to try to talk about it. I don't
I
know.
know, I know. Ashley definitely has something to say
Yeah.
because in the time she was picked up, she had messaged me repeatedly saying she had to talk to me and wanted me to come here or there, which I of course wasn't. I'd already talked to detectives by then. You know, I figured she was setting me up to fucking murk me or whatever, have someone handle me.
Either
Uh,
or she wanted
or,
to try to
or she,
curb
or
it
she
story.
do what?
Either that or she wanted to try to talk to you about curbing the narrative to her time of events in her mind.
Right, or some a previous case or anything. Yeah, she knows something. She wanted to tell me something bad. I don't know if she wanted to tell me about the Nicole deal or not because she obviously didn't know that I had told on him at that time. You
Okay.
know, it could have been that, or it could have been, hey, he did this over here, and I'm scared to death. You know, I can't get a hold of him.
Right.
Like there's so I think to answer your question is that no, there's nothing to ever show that Nicole or Palladino or Nicole was going to snitch.
See, so I hope someone out there watching knows someone in prison and is telling them that Nicole was innocent. That's probably not right to say on here, but I hope that gets there.
What I heard from Nicole's um or sorry, yes, what I heard from Shar from Nicole's family was that Nicole was going to talk to her sister, had made arrangements, and they felt like that Nicole was going to talk about Garrett's, um, uh, about how he killed Ray Hanish. Um, so that's what the family say has thought, and who knows what Nicole was going to say because she is dead.
Right,
So
this is actually what I was talking about, though.
yes.
Okay, just
So
making sure.
So yeah, so that's the only thing that I know about. If anyone was going to say, was just simply that after Nicole, within whatever between Ray's death, because Nicole Bowen was there as with Ray that night, and whoever else at Ray Hanish's place. Okay.
Yeah, see, I didn't know her, but she did not come across the type of person that'd be there for something like that. I mean,
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
she came across a really sweet, you know,
Yeah.
quiet, you know, not like the whole group, not like the group, you know, not wild, not.
Well, she had done meth, and according to her mom, she was cleaning her act up, and and unfortunately, she just happened to, run into a Garrett Kurtz again, in her life,
Right,
and
and just because you do drugs, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that just because she does drugs don't mean she's the type of person to be involved in something like that. I think that's
correct,
what you're trying to put them together is, you know, they're not together.
correct. Like what's strange about that whole thing, Mikey, is that Ashley's phone was left there, was found in Ray's apartment. Now, I'm just going by hearsay.
Oh, you're talking about Ashley was there?
Ashley's phone was there.
Oh, I thought you said Nicole was there.
Nicole was there too.
Oh, okay.
So Nicole was there, but because it wasn't deemed as a crime scene, no one really knows who was there besides the people that are involved. Nicole's dead. Ray's dead. Can't ask them, obviously. The family was basically said, hey, this is what happens when you lead this lifestyle. Here's the keys back to the apartment. Clean it up. During the cleanup, they found the phone of Ashley's. And what Cher had said is that back in January of 2019, and Garrett Kurtz tried to strangle Ashley Garth. Okay, they were obviously having some sort of disagreement. According to Cher, she thought it was over that Garrett wanted her phone. Who knows where the connection exactly is, or how many people were in Ray Hanish's place that night? Because Ray Hanish had invited a homeless couple into his home and the girl was pregnant. So who knows who was there? I don't think it was just Nicole and Garrett, but I don't think that Nicole expected Ray Hanish to be murdered that night. And so I think, like yourself, it was weighing on her and she was wanting to talk about it, to her sister. But
which has nothing to do with what we were talking. I mean, it has something to do with what we were talking about, but not the supposedly snitching on a dope case. That
okay, so maybe
everybody's saying.
Mama, maybe I'm missing the question here, Mikey.
No. We're on the same page. You're saying, did she ever tell you? You thought I was saying, did she ever tell on him? And that was the only thing she had. You're saying that's the only thing she had even thought about telling on him was about that to her sister.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is this whole thing was supposedly, over telling on Palladino and himself for cooking dope.
Right. Yes.
So
and I haven't heard.
What I was asking was, I get what you're saying. She never told on him for cooking dope. So I hope in prison, someone that talks to someone in prison tells them that girl did not
lie.
There's no there's no paperwork on Nicole Bowen for Garrett Kurtz, and I hope Garrett Kurtz gets treated the way he needs to be treated.
Yeah, because you're saying that if there was that basically the person would get a pat on the back because he had, but no, there's nothing that I've ever seen that is that. I think it's a lie. I think it's a lie of Garrett Kurtz.
I do too. Too.
I don't believe it or buy it myself on there. So the other question that came with that was, why do you think though that 5 years has gone by? Is it a thing that you think that everyone's scared to talk? And this is about Delphi now. Like what would lead 5 years to go by and no one really come forward? Like yourself, you had a conscience. You brought it within a few days. It's been 5 years.
Well, I mean, like I said, I don't know the group. I don't know the group down there, but there's groups down here as well that if you know something, regardless of what it is, you don't speak on it. So I don't know if that's the case or if the media haven't changed everything so many times and just bullshitted about it, and just, shook everybody loose of who actually did it. And that's why no one's come forward, because they've changed the guy's appearance, so many times and this and that. And you know what I mean? That could be it as well.
Yeah. It's just hard to understand how, 5 years has gone by, just like, right. You have a child. Imagine that child, no, heaven forbid, but imagine if that was your child that was found like Becky, Patty, and Anna Williams. Like, do you know what I mean? Imagine to have that.
I totally understand. There's no way. I don't care who the group was. I would not let two kids be killed and me not say nothing. Like in the Nicole ordeal, if it would have been a dude that snitched on him, and that'd been the impression I was under, would I have been fucked up about it? Yeah. Would have I ran to the investigator? Honestly, probably not. Right. Nicole was a young female with 2 kids that did not come across as the type that needed to be in that lifestyle whatsoever.
Yeah.
Or that belonged or had been in that lifestyle much.
Yeah.
And it's people like Garrett that drag people like her into it and get them real deep, real fast, and then it's downhill from there.
Yeah, I know. And like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, it was whatever. I mean, it is what it is. It was written in the cards. Like I said, that this is what happened. There's no reversing it. It is what happened. So, all we can do is, like I said, pray for justice. And again, agreed that 55 years, like you take someone's life, like, I don't want anyone to ever, trust me, for me, we don't have the death penalty, of course, here in Canada, but I don't want someone to have the death penalty. I want you.
That's the easy way out.
That's the easy way out. I want
Sit
you to get,
sit in that bitch, yeah. Slowly lose your mind.
I want you to pay for the price. I want you to every day stare at those freaking ass walls. I want you to every day watch your back, be told what to do, how to eat, how to shit, how to sleep, I want you to feel that every single day. I don't want you to take the easy way out. That's why I never will believe in the death penalty. No, I want you to suffer. Like you said, I want you to get butt raped or whatever in there. Go right ahead. Drop the soap 10 times, 1,000 times. Dude, you deserve it. Because, you took a mother away from her 2 kids that will now be scarred for life from the parents, all this.
in Indiana, I don't know if your prison laws or rules are the same or whatever. There's time cuts for everything, and I believe on his charge, it's you only do 75% of your time. I believe. I'm not positive. It might be 85.
Right.
Still, so say 75% of his time. That's I'm not gonna do the exact math. That's a
I
20
know.
quarter of it off right there, and then you
Yeah.
go in there and get time. He could be out in 20 years. That
Yeah.
piece of shit could be out. Will he be? No, I don't see it.
Okay.
He's affiliated. He's gonna fuck up in there. He's gonna, hopefully don't make it
Well,
out of there.
I was gonna say too, like maybe once you've gone through Open Secrets and watched the Open Secret videos, maybe we can have another discussion about this as well. Because I'm sure you're gonna have different thoughts or different things to possibly say once you literally watch exactly what Mathis is saying, exactly what Garrett Kurtz has been saying, type of thing. And you'll have a better understanding, I think, of a few more things for sure. I mean, it's up to you, of course. Like I said, if you want to come on, I'd love to have you back on. But I know that you would like to watch the Open Secrets and see, because, at the end of the day, again, Nicole's passed, Ray Hanish has passed, the girls have passed, and it's just trying
It
to, like
doesn't
I
matter.
said, bring awareness. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, just bring awareness again. And like I said, some people won't have seen this video. Others will be newer that come in. So again, just let me know. I don't like to put pressure on people. I don't like to bug people. So just let me know if you do at some point want to come on, especially after you've watched Open Secrets in time or whatever. So Mama, do you have any final questions before we get going here and let Mikey go?
Jenny had asked a question. She said, why would Nicole do meth with Garrett and then turn around and snitch on him? That's a really good question.
No, that's a good question unless you're involved in that lifestyle, because there's a whole lot of people that snitch on each other and they get high with each other afterwards. And meth fucks you up. I mean, you don't act the way you would think a person would act. I know a lot of people in that circumstance.
So yes, why would you? So I'm gonna read that. Yes, why would Nicole do math with Garrett and then turn around and snitch on him? Right. Okay. Right. But
Keep your friends closer, enemies closer. She would think if she's still getting high with them, still fucking with him, she ain't doing nothing shady. Not saying that she did snitch on him, you know what I'm saying? But if she had, that's a good possibility.
Okay. So let me ask you. I personally don't buy that story.
I don't either. I don't think she snitched on him, And the story he gave me anyway wouldn't be snitching in my eyes, He threw the dope at her. She didn't say, hey, let me get that dope, I'll hide it. And this is the story I got from him, that he threw the dope at her. She hid it. She got caught in the station. She wrote the statement saying it was his. He shouldn't have threw it at her,
Right. Oh, gotcha.
My views are a lot different than a whole lot of people out here views, My people out here see this, they can be hating like a motherfucker, but it is what it is,
Yeah. Okay.
I ain't in that group no more. I don't fuck with that group no more. So think what you want.
I was gonna say, I mean, I know, and I really do hope that you stay on a better path for yourself. Honestly, again, hindsight gives you 20/20 of what you want, and only you can make that new path for yourself. Again, coming on here to me was just a blessing, a gift, whatever you want to call it. I was totally not expecting you to say yes, let alone answer my messenger. and when I did say who I was expecting block. Oops.
No, I checked your page first.
Yeah, I would hope so. I like to do my homework too. I didn't I didn't overly, but I kind of looked you up first as I was, having some time because you hadn't answered back. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, let me go. I have a couple things that I do. I look on Indiana records, and then I look the person up on Intellius to see who family members are. Family members. Intellius is good for. It will tell me all your emails. It will tell me your phone numbers. It will tell me a lot of different things, but it really sucks at the criminal aspect side. Indiana.
Well, I don't have my case. Go to my case if you want to know someone's criminal record. Go to mycase.gov.
Right, and that's exactly where I go, to the Indiana Free Court Records, like you said, my case, and that's exactly where I go because Intellius really sucks for the criminal side of the aspect. So I never trust it for that because it will usually find maybe one or two things, and then let's say I go check out like Garrett Kurtz or Keegan Dunker or Ron Logan, and then I'll get like a plethora of shit in front of me. I'll be like,
like mine's an extensive record. It's long, but I have no violent crimes, no drug crimes, no sex crimes. You know,
yes.
I've got child support, driving while suspended, auto theft.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if there's one thing I've noticed about people in Indiana, there's a lot of people that have no insurance. They're driving while suspended, drunk while suspended, blah 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 blah. There's definitely a shitload of vehicle. It seems like everyone underneath the sun. Anyone who I look up, there'll be like small claims in there a little bit, but a good 3/4 of their record is literally to do with driving while suspended. You know?
I'm not saying my record makes me a good person, but
No.
you know, I did a lot of things I wasn't caught for, but nothing that I could say I'm ashamed of except for my meth use. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see here. Deb, no, he hasn't heard of, just to double check here, Mikey, you never heard of anything to do with the pedo ring connections to any of this, even with Nicole Bowen or nothing like that.
No.
Yeah.
Never even heard rumors about that.
And yeah, I'm for the girls, Mikey. So where was Ashley when, so let, just quickly, Mikey.
I'm not sure where she was. When you walk in the door, it was a big open living room with a sectional couch or 2 couches. I don't remember, but she wasn't in there or the kitchen, which is open floor plan type deal, so you could see both. She wasn't in neither one of those at that time, so I don't know where she was at.
Did we answer this one, Mikey? What happens if he goes down for killing those 2 girls? How would he be treated then? I think we just answered that, did we not? I'm sure they do. More than fighting on the back, yeah.
Especially with all the press coverage that's been over that case, that person probably will never make it to trial.
Yeah.
Just saying, you know, I'm not saying
I'm
not making threats. I'm saying that's
right
mentality in there.
It is. It's a huge case within the true crime community. It's a huge case nationally, globally. You know, every time there's something, the Globe and Mail or freaking in the UK is on it. And yeah, I mean, it's a huge case for sure. Because, and I really think it, like, you know, like how some cases, they're like, for instance, like prior to this, and tell me if you've heard of this case. Have you ever heard of the Flora fires?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Do you, just out of your own my own curiosity, have you heard anything about the Flora fires or connections or?
No, all I heard that which is from the news and stuff like that, was I think it was torched, wasn't it, with 4 or 5 kids in it? Wasn't it arson?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was arson, wasn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know that area neither, but I heard that wasn't.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Anthony Greeno?
No, I don't believe so.
No. Okay. He lives over there. He's a YouTube channel. But don't watch him, okay? Because he tells lies, and and he's a liar. So if you think you have a record, go look at his, okay? Tell me, just go Google his name, Anthony Greeno, Renee Anthony Greeno, and you'll be like. Anyways, he does Delphi murders too. Probably shouldn't bring up his name, but YOLO, I don't care. You know, definitely somebody that has a big past. But anyway, I'll leave you for that to Google if you want to. Anyways, so other than that, Mama, and was there anything else that you wanted to ask before Mikey goes?
No, I just wanted to say thank you again for coming on the channel.
No problem. I hope some good comes of it, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody sees something that sparks some interest or some back thoughts or something, you know. I don't know.
Yes, and yeah, definitely. And if we have any questions, like, we can reach out to you later or whatever. I hope that you would be.
And as well, I'm going to put this out there for you as well, Mikey. If at any point that you feel like this, and I offer this to whoever, if at any point you ask me to take down the video, I will gladly do so. It doesn't mean that other people might not have recorded it or whatever, but I will, if you feel, because sometimes what people do one day, they feel differently the next day and whatever. So it's really up to you. I appreciate you being a voice, but I also respect the fact that if it's going to bring some hardship or anything to your life, then just let me
I,
know.
I cannot accept the consequences of anything that happened with this. Run that shit anywhere you can. Send it to me. I'm going to send it all over Facebook.
All right. Well, yes, it will. I was going to say, as soon as this is done, it takes a little bit for everything to happen. And then you can share the link from, like, just subscribe to my channel so that whenever a video comes up or whenever I go live, but you can just go share the link from this video here, like any YouTube channel, and hit share, share it to Facebook, share it to your friends, share it to whoever. Right. Just know, you don't know how much my heart is filled that you literally did this for me today, for the fact of honoring Nicole and telling the truth and just trying to make things right at the end of the day. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate it, and I hope it does some good.
Yeah. Again, we'll leave here. Type of thing. I'll give you any links that you want or whatever. In regards to, like I said, open secrets or whatever. And like you said, my case, you can go look up that since you know my case. Exactly. You can go look up Ashley Garth on her second one down. You will find, if you go open up that case of hers and you go towards the bottom, you'll see where it says like the, what does it say actually? Do I still have it up? Summary. Yeah, it's the.
I actually just looked up Kurtz and Ashley the other day, actually.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah. And what were your thoughts on that? Just a whole lot of different.
I think between like 110 years between them ain't enough.
I know.
That's something around what it was,
Yeah.
I don't know how. Didn't Kurtz get a little bit less than Garth?
No.
I think he got 48, didn't he?
No, that's Garth. Garth got 48. Kurtz got 55.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
and Mathis got, I think,
a year.
Yeah.
A year to 6, I think.
How much did he get? A year?
A year to 6, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's level 6, so you do 50% of your time,
I was gonna say he did 50% of his time, and then he
goes against. He got charges. Well, as soon as he got out of there for he had some shit brought in a shoe.
Oh.
So he got charges for that.
Oh, is that what the meth charge is for?
I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know if that was on the street or what.
I think in charge.
I don't remember what it was that he was having snuck in, but he had a girl sneak something in her shoe and got caught for it. And
oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I guess and I'm sure it's hard to change old habits and whatever, but he just always seems to be that unlucky. I don't want to say unlucky shit, but he always seems to be in the wrong place at the right time type of thing or whatever you want to call it. And it's always like his hands in the cookie jar somewhere. It's like he's
a really good dude when he's clean.
Yeah. And you can tell, like, even when he's talking, like when he's talking in Open Secrets video, like I said, I have a soft spot for him because I just don't put him on the piece of shit list. I do, but not on that same level as Ashley and certain other people for sure on there. Yeah. So, okie dokie. Thank you so much. Thank you, live. Thank you, everyone that joined us.
I have a question. If you could, just me and you, off the live.
Oh, sure, absolutely. I'll end this right now. Thank you, everybody. Everyone, say goodbye to Mikey. Again, thank him so much for coming and joining us and talking to us about Nicole. Again, some people are in here for Delphi and the different reasons or whatever. But kind of like what I feel about everything. It's kind of like when they did a or HLN just did a special about the Delphi murders. And sometimes people aren't so grateful for that little bit of extra information that they gave with the HLN. I think that expect zero expectations, and whatever you get past that, So this gave us definitely more knowledge into what happened that day from a horse's mouth that was not there during the murder, but at least was there. Simple as that. Yeah. Oh, can I just read this last one? Mike Aspen says, which is Adam, Mikey, I don't know you, but I can say that if you ever get to a place where you need a support or a distraction, reach out to Sunny or this group. We'd love to help see you stay on. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do.
Adam is the newest one to our group here. Again, I like to call these people pure hearts. Pure hearts are people that are invested in nothing besides absolute care and love about other people. And there's no internal motive. It's just simply that people have such a deep loving care about other people. And those are the people that I like to associate myself with. And the other ones will get out of my life that, that try to distract or cause me problems, because we're not here for that. We're here to try to care about each other, love each other. Again, support. If this becomes one of those things that every other week or something, Mikey wants to come on, then go right ahead. I'm kind of one of those things that, like I said, I just YOLO, whatever it is will be. I don't try to have rules and regulations for stuff. I just kind of like to do things as they come along, But anyway, so thank you, Adam, for that. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Jack. Yeah. And I'll talk to you in a minute, okay?
Thanks,
Okay.
Nikki. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for your courage. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to end the broadcast, guys. Take care. Have a great night, and God bless.
Yep.